team likely out for the season. Craig was quick to emphasise there, it's all about doing what we're good at, and when St Mirren are good, they are very good, aren't they? I mean, they do have the fight, the energy, the bravery that he spoke about.
Yeah, and when they play like that, they're a difficult team to play against, especially here at home in Paisley. But it just hasn't been there for whatever reason. They've been easier to play against this season, and the league form tells you its own story. 1 win in 13 really isn't good enough, and that's why they find themselves in this position. When St Mirren were at their best, let's say last season, they were a horrible team to play against. They didn't concede cheap goals, and with their kind of work rate and aggression, teams found them very difficult to play against. And Andy would have played against them himself for Motherwell, and no team wanted to play them. That is, well, I don't know the reason, but it's just drifted a wee bit this season, and I think maybe confidence as well coming out of the team, and injuries have played their part, no doubt, to the squad not having their top players available. But what they really need to do is find a way to get back to that. And you know, as Craig was talking about there in his interview, that's when St Mirren are at their best, when they're in your face and they're taking the game to you, and they need to do that today. They've got a good record against Rangers here in Paisley, but this game, you know, for me, I think is really big for St Mirren as we approach, you know, getting towards the split, when it's going to get incredibly nervy. And Rangers, their own battle at the top, but for St Mirren Football Club, it's massive that they start to pick up points and wins. Difficult today. I think the conditions actually probably suit St Mirren more than they suit Rangers. Yeah. There could be a lot of balls going into opposition box, which is what St Mirren are really good at, long throws, set plays, and with this wind they could take advantage.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's been an issue. You talked about the goals they've been conceding, and that one win that they have had of late was the 1-0 against Hearts at the start of February. That's the kind of performance that Craig is going to require this afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's difficult for Craig. You know, I know him really well. He's been a coach for my son throughout the academy years, and then he moved up just recently into a more kind of first team role. He's a very talented coach, great guy. But you know, talk about getting thrown into the deep end to go and prepare a team, and then obviously a couple of key players getting injured, but he'll have prepared them really well himself and Alan McManus, and they'll be ready for the game today against Rangers. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I mean, I think he also talked about the players going out, but he's managed to gain a younger coming back in. Now, the team that they've picked and the way that they're going about it today looks like just the one striker, Lundaloo, up top. I'd imagine Phillips will be asked to go and get close to him when St Mirren have the ball. But they do have options on the bench, and obviously Jake Young's been scoring goals recently, and a younger as well, Idowu on the bench. So they've got players that they can look to in the game if they need them there on the bench. Also a couple of young players as well on the bench. Obviously with Declan John missing out in the game as well, young Thomas Faulkner comes in. He's just 17 years old again, youth team type player, but so they're a wee bit stretched as well.
Yeah, I mean, the goals against, they're not bad, Andy. It's the goals for column that is absolutely killing St Mirren this season. By some distance, the lowest scorers in the league, and even, you know, one time they did get 3 goals recently, they still lost the game 4-3 to Killie. They're going to have to find something if they're to get away from this potential relegation fight, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the surprising factor about that is when you look at the strikers they've got at their disposal, and Lundaloo and Mandron, Ayunga and Young, you know, I think they're all capable strikers at in the top division, but for whatever reason they've just not managed to score enough goals to propel them up the league. And I think recently you've had a lot more confidence in your Kilmarnocks and your Dundees to get herself out of this sticky situation. And St Mirren have found herself in a real difficult spot where at this moment in time you almost make them favourites for that 11th spot. That being said, I think that...
Settle down, Andy.
You've got to say though, I think St Mirren quite often have found their best performances in these bigger games, you know, against Rangers and Celtic, against Hearts. I think they've always caused these teams problems. And we're just watching the warm-up here. I mean, Rangers have obviously got their customary back 4, and Scott Fry's clipping balls up to them, and because of the wind, they're struggling to deal with just long direct balls just due to that swirling wind. Then try to take a wee bit away for St Mirren's warm up as well. It looks as if that midfield four of Phillips, O'Hara, Devaney and Donnelly are almost playing a box with Donnelly and Devaney sitting and Phillips and O'Hara being the more advanced. I don't think there's any doubt a big factor of that is to get bodies closer to Lindelöf, but obviously to combat the Rangers' two wide players inverting into the pitch in Gassama and Moore. So I think it's going to be a really interesting game, and you know, such as this season's been, no result I think it's going to surprise me.
Yeah, I think we can absolutely say that. Let's hear from the Rangers manager then, Danny Roll. Also been chatting with Cerdine at Sam.
Danny, thanks for joining us. Given what happened yesterday, is this a massive opportunity for Rangers? Things are very tight at the top of the table now.
I know, but let's speak not today about yesterday. Let's speak about our game. I think we have to deliver. We need the points. We said there's 9 cup finals to go, and it's important that we take the 3 points today.
Extra important, maybe, given that if you do win, things get very congested at the top of the table. It is a big opportunity for Rangers, isn't it?
Yeah, I said this many times. This race is crazy, will be crazy until the end. And you see the results, it comes and goes. And for us, it's focus on our 9 cup finals. If we do this and we deliver today, then we have a great opportunity.
Your team today, Tavernier in, Chukwueze in, Gassama in.
Yeah, Dio has a small shoulder injury. That's the reason why Tochi's back. Tochi made a fantastic second half when he comes on last week. Yeah, and Tev and Gus, I think they have a great relationship, and that was then the reason why I put these 2 guys together. Yeah, and to see how we can threat their opponent.
You've been playing well recently, but maybe just not getting the results that potentially your play should have done. How do you change that today?
Yeah, I think this is sometimes in football. We don't like it. Yeah, normally when you perform well, then you should get the right result. But this is also the reason why we like football. Yeah, we need the same effort in both directions, and we have to be ruthless and clinical in both boxes. And if we do this, then we have a great opportunity. Yeah, if you have clean sheet and we can score in front, then we will win games.
I think St Mirren have a few injury problems, but this has been a difficult ground for Rangers and a difficult team in recent matches.
Yeah, of course. I think as a caretaker, you never know what happens. They have maybe also a little bit more energy today. They want to show. It's a tough place to go, but when we want to be successful this season, then you have to take this and you have to win.
Danny, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a 1-1 draw back in the early part of the season when Rangers were reeling off all those draws to kick off the league season. They've not won away from home since the 11th of January against Aberdeen. It has been 3 successive draws. You can understand why. And Danny Roll talking about his team being more ruthless, more clinical. He needs that, doesn't he?
Yeah, and they have to be better in both boxes. You know, we talked about the lack of creativity over the last week in the Scottish Cup against Celtic, but defensively obviously looked a lot more suspect than they did in recent times. You know, I think Scott Fry made an immediate impact when he first came to the club. In terms of Rangers winning games for set-piece situations, that's dried up a wee bit as well in recent weeks. But Rangers have an unbelievable opportunity to make this an even tighter title race than it's been over the last month or so. You know, a win today takes them only 3 points behind Hearts with 8 games to go. And Danny Rule calls it quite rightly 9 cup finals. But you know, to make it this title race we're talking about, they have to overcome the first hurdle, which is St Mirren today.
Yeah, I suppose the results were mixed for them yesterday. Tomo, Celtic obviously coming from behind to get the win, and then Hearts losing out.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal, isn't it? If Rangers, and I think a lot of people would expect them to do the business this afternoon, it will be just 3 points separating the teams as we move into what is very much the run into the season.
Yeah, although there is still, I know there's only 8 games left after today, but there's still a lot of stuff to happen. You know what I mean? The Hearts losing last night, and people are saying, oh, that's the end, they've blown it. It's not going to be like it. It's going to twist and turn, and it's just, you know, right to the end. So even if Rangers didn't win the game today, I don't think they're out of it. Because there's, you know, they've all got to play each other. They've got to play Andy's Motherwell, who have a big say in what happens as well. Hibs could take points off teams easily, so it's just going to, I think, go like that to the end of the season. But what they really need, Rangers, if they can get the win today and go in their next 3 games, I think, is at Aberdeen, Dundee United and Falkirk. If they can get positive results in those games going into the split, it would certainly help them. But
we've reached that stage now where there are no more head-to-heads between the 3 title rivals, so the pressure is on them all, I guess, to try to get maximum points ahead of that.
They're just trying to get to the split in the best shape. I think that's the case. But I mean, Aberdeen, Dundee United and Falkirk are away the last one's a tricky game for them as well. But I think that's the key for all these teams. But there's no way for me that any one team's going to stretch away here and win the league by a small distance. It's going to be tight, and it's going to nip and tuck right to the very end.
Yeah, we'll be going into this in more depth in the final hour of the programme, which is 3 until 5 o'clock. By that time, of course, Stephen and Andy will be relaxing at home with a little sherry, I'm sure, to see them through that Sunday afternoon. So I'll just get your thoughts on that right now, Andy, in terms of what those results have done yesterday and what your sense is now. I mean, are you any clearer, or is it impossible to be any clearer right now?
Well, I've been on the Hearts team for a long period of time. Don't get me wrong, I knew it was going to be a difficult game for them last night at Rugby Park, but I didn't envisage Hearts losing the game. Yes, a draw potentially, I could have seen that, but I thought going into the game Hearts were big favourites. And I think it's as poor as I've seen Hearts for a long time. I thought they lacked any real tempo within the game, but it was the first time we've managed to see, quite often over the recent weeks, that Hearts have been the team that have played the fixture first and got the job done, won the game and put the pressure on Rangers and Celtic. We've seen that over the last 2 game weeks up until this one, but Celtic obviously got their job done at 3 o'clock and then put the onus on Hearts. And how could Hearts respond? And I thought they responded with a real lacklustre performance. I thought Kilmarnock thoroughly deserved the win, and now the onus is now on Rangers to try and get the 3 points today and make it an even more exciting run than we thought it could potentially be. And that is, I know we've said this so often, but it's mouth-watering how the post-split's going to look. But for Rangers to be a part of that, they have to get these jobs done. And
do you see it going right to the end as well?
I do. I think it's going down. I think it's going down to the very last game week. I think all 3 teams, in my opinion, will probably be involved within it. And I think there's going to be so many twists and turns. And like I says, it wouldn't surprise me if one of the twists and turns comes this afternoon.
What's going to be fascinating when it comes to that, and the SPFL, we know, have been loath to set up any kind of title decider, given what happened all those years ago. It's something that Scottish football has tended to try to avoid. It's going to be very difficult, isn't it, this season, to avoid a potential title decider, given the clubs involved.
Yeah, obviously 3 teams involved in it, and when they're making the fixtures, it's a difficult thing for them to do. Who plays at home, who plays away, and the permutations, and then obviously they don't want that kind of coming down to the last day game, but it's going to be very hard to avoid that, isn't it? Really, because you just don't know who's going to be in the mix. Well, you do. There's going to be 3 teams that's in the mix, so you've got to try and work your way around it. But that'll be a tough one for them, that.
Look, first and foremost, Rangers will be hoping that they can do the business this afternoon. And as you look at those lineups, you've gone through it the way we're expecting the teams to set up. Where are the key areas? Where do you see this game being won and lost this afternoon?
Well, I think Rangers need big performances for the players at the top end of the pitch. Like I said, I think James Tavernier's a welcome introduction. I think, being up against a left wing back in Tanza, who is more defensive minded than a Declan John, I think it gives Tav the licence to get forward and put crosses into the box. But I think Rangers need a big performance, in particular in Ryan Nadiri. He's been brought into the club for £5 million. The fee was agreed at £3 million in the summer, but they paid that extra couple of £1 million to get him in January to make the difference in these games. At this moment in time, the only goals he scored has been the 2 against Queen's Park in the Scottish Cup, so he has to perform in these league games for the remaining 9 games, and I think Rangers are expecting a big performance on him and expecting a big performance soon. I think Mikey Moore has been that real creative outlet for Rangers over recent weeks, and I think they need the same output for Gazama on the other side. So I think these players at the top end of the pitch needs a big performance for Rangers for them to win the game.
And from a St Mirren point of view, Tomo?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've mentioned the conditions. I think it will suit St Mirren to try and get the ball into the Rangers box, ask them to defend, try and get the ball for set plays and for long throws into the area. They've not got a lot of attacking options on the pitch. When you look at the team, they've got 4 central midfielders, 5 defenders, and just Dan Lindelöf up top in his own. And the onus is going to be on mostly, I think, Killian Phillips to get up and support Dan Lindelöf. It could be a lonely day for him today, the striker playing that lone role without anybody really getting in touch with it. So it's so important that somebody from that midfield gets up. And the wing-backs have got a big job as well, because the manager and the midfield are going to be narrow, and talks about the diamond shape, so they've got a job in their hands with the wingers and full-backs of Rangers. So it's going to be a tough game for St Mirren, I think we know that, but first and foremost they've got to defend well and not give away cheap goals. And after that, as I said, they might look to their bench later in the game when they can bring on a Ayunga or a Jake Young to try and go and get the goals. But the way it look like they're setting up right now, it looks like they're trying to stop Rangers from being a threat towards them and then try and grow into the game.
Well, as you can hear, the teams are emerging in Paisley. 2 o'clock kick-off at Dens Park. Dundee against Dundee United. Full live commentary on that one, and we'll be on through until 5 o'clock, so plenty of time to reflect on what the weekend has brought. It all kicks off this afternoon with a game in Paisley. It is St Mirren against Rangers, live here in Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland, with Andy Halliday, Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Richard. Yes, welcome to the Smythe Stadium. Just ahead of noon, as the two teams shake hands on the halfway line. A blustery day, to say the least, in Renfrewshire. The rain has eased off, at least. Sun trying to emerge through thick grey clouds above us, and a good-sized crowd inside the stadium as well, as Rangers get the training tops off to reveal the orange change kit, all in orange today, as James Tavernier makes his way to the halfway line once more to get the picture taken with his St Mirren counterpart Mark O'Hara and referee Stephen McLean. In case anyone was waiting on that big news as to who is actually on VAR this afternoon, it is Chris Graham. And no doubt there will be some involvement for him over the course of the 90 minutes ahead, as St Mirren prepare to get things underway, looking to start to move up the table if they possibly can, away from that dreaded relegation playoff spots. They're all in their black and white striped tops, white shorts and white socks as usual. And Killian Phillips just trots towards the centre circle. We're just about ready to get underway here. It's a massive game at both ends of the table. And it looks like it will be the home side to kick us off here, going from left to right as we look at it from the back of the main stand here at the Smythe. It's so important for both sides that they pick up all 3 points, but only one will be able to do so. A draw, not a great deal of use to either side, it has to be said, in the predicament they find themselves. It'll be Jacob Devaney to get us off and running. Very interesting from St Mirren, just about every single player either right on the halfway line or around the centre circle as they prepare to get us underway. It's difficult to say if the wind favours either side particularly. Try and work that out as the game progresses, but certainly St Mirren look like they are going to launch a quick start here, try and get the ball forward as we just wait the fourth official signal here that everyone's happy to get going. There's Stephen McLean's whistle and we are underway. And St Mirren try to charge forward, and immediately in step Chukwani, and he's fouled, and the free kick is given Rangers' way. As Chukwani back in the midfield in place of Mohamed Diamondi, who drops out, as you heard Danny Rowe saying, a bit of an injury. Tavernier now clipping it forward, looking for the run there of Nico Raskan, and George has to come in head just outside his penalty area, gets a good bit of distance on it, to be fair to him, and St Mirren are able to come forward, and Lundaloo will go and chase that. Giga's there and just knocks it out of play over on the far side. Safety first from the big centre back, as Andy said in the warm-up. It was quite clear that balls forward were going to pose defenders problems here, and it's not a day for taking chances at the back for sure, as St Mirren have it down in the far corner. Looks like it might just have crept out of play, but it does continue, and Jack Butland takes the cross and just rolls it short to Manny Fernandez just outside his penalty area. Well, he's a man known for maybe taking a chance or two, and he waits for Phillips to come close him down, then he plays the pass to Giga, and now it's forward for Tavernier, off Tanzer for a throw-in, and Rangers will have it about 15 yards inside St Mirren territory. Down the right-hand side it goes. Naderi gets it back to Tavernier, and now it's Chukwani, tries to clip it out to the left-hand side for Romans. Romans has to come back a few yards to collect it, and now it's back with Fernandez just inside his own half, back to Giga. Giga with a short ball to Chukwani, and out to the right-hand side for Tavernier. Rangers with the early possession. Now it's clipped forward again. Gogic gets something on it. It's going to come for Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore might be in here, and just swept away in the end. A bit of last-ditch defending from Richard King there to get it clear, as Mikey Moore tried to take advantage of a poor header from Gogic. Here he is again, slips it through for Chermiti, left-hand side of the box. Cross comes Gogic, gets a toe poke in to knock it behind for a corner. Decent start for Rangers, Andy Halliday.
As indeed, we've seen already in 3 occasions, 2 for Rangers, 1 for St Mirren. Any straight ball isn't easy to deal with. Gogic not dealing with that one there, but St Mirren come back, snuff out the danger for Mikey Moore. Rangers win it back, work it down the left-hand side to Chermiti, and Gogic recovers well to knock it out for a corner.
It was a great example of the win there, where the Gogic trying to read that ball that came forward. He didn't at all. Makes a mess of the header, and Mikey Moore very close to getting on the end of it.
Tavernier over this corner from the left-hand side. Mikey Moore just a few yards from him if he wants the short option. Now he moves away, and Tavernier swings it back post. That looks like it's going to go all the way. Freckleton gets his head to it. Naderi picks up right-hand side. Phillips is with him. Naderi tries to squeeze it back in. Freckleton's there at the near post this time to head it to the edge of the box. O'Hara tries to help it on. Moore gets something on it, but then it's knocked back to Tavernier. Swings it back in. Raskan chases it down. Freckleton gets it clear. Raskan might have made more of that opportunity at the edge of the box. It's up to the halfway line. The wind causing all sorts of problems. Richardson doesn't read the bounce, and Tavernier picks up. He's on the left-hand side. He tries to play it through the legs of Richardson. Doesn't work. And here is Jaden Richardson down the right-hand side now for Lundaloo. Giga there just ahead of him, spins away from him, plays it short to Chukwani, and now Fernandez left-hand side, back into Chukwani. He's overhit it. Phillips flies into the challenge, breaks for Romans, and now out to the right-hand side to Raskan. Started at quite a pace this game, and Naderi brings it forward for Rangers. Tucks it inside for Gassama. Back to Naderi, right-hand side of the box. Cross face a goal. King just turns it behind for a corner kick, and Rangers again on the offensive. 0-0.
It's good play from Ryan Naderi on that right-hand side. Lovely little give and go with Gassama. The only thing from a Rangers point of view, there's only one player in the box, and that was Mikey Moore ghosting in at the back post. And you could see 6 or 7 bodies for Rangers still at the halfway line. When they work these opportunities, they have to commit bodies forward, make it difficult for St Mirren.
Richard King's clearance probably the whole. I mean, he put it out for the corner, but he very nearly put it in his own net there, put over the bar.
Tavernier again from the left-hand side, 4 minutes in, no goals as yet. As Tavernier swings it, again it's curling right into the 6-yard box. The wind catches that one, and it's cleared as far as Mikey Moore, left-hand side. Across comes Richardson and knocks it into the stand here in this near side. It'll be a Rangers throw-in.
Well, that's 2 corners already for James Tavernier. I honestly thought I'd gone out for throw-ins at the other side.
Incredible, isn't it?
They've dropped back into the 6-yard box. We said at the start, I think simple balls are going to be difficult for anybody to deal with. The wind's playing a huge part already in this game.
Tavernier from the left-hand side looks like he's going to try the long throw-in here. In it comes. It's a good throw-in. It's away by Freckleton, helped on there by Devani up towards Lundaloo. He's lost it though to Tavernier, who knocks it back to Giga just inside the centre circle. We've played 5 minutes, there's no goals, but Rangers starting on the front foot. in search of an opening goal early on. Tavernier, a good looking ball, attack there in the middle, and it was Fernandez who'd stayed up, and he's going to get another corner kick here, I think. Came off the St Mirren defender last.
It's a really good ball in from James Tavernier, really dangerous, and Fernandez had stayed up from the earlier set play, gets his head on it, but it bounces off. I think it was King for the corner. Really good spell of pressure this from Rangers. Wonder if they'll try and vary this corner kick, or they'll just do the same again, scoop it right into the middle of the 6-yard box. That's where all the bodies are.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult ball to deal with if Tavernier can get it in that area again. Mikey Moore is the short option once more, and that is what he takes, changing the angle. Then he knocks it back to Tavernier, brings it into the back post, headed away by Phillips and helped on by Devaney. Gets out to the left-hand side. St Mirren trying to get themselves out of their own half, but are finding it very difficult to do so as Rangers apply the pressure. But the key thing, Andy, and Danny Rule referenced it in his own pre-match interview, it's about being ruthless. It's about taking the chances when they come their way. It's not just about this pressure. They had plenty of pressure and chances against Celtic last weekend and couldn't take any of them, and ultimately paid the price.
Yeah, and it's about making that pressure count. You quite rightly pointed out the Rangers had loads of control in the game last week, but when they were on top, they never punished Celtic, they never created enough. I think they've started this opening 6 minutes really well against St Mirren, but not made Jamal George make a save yet. But James Tavernier, he's certainly someone you need to try and look to get on the ball, because his delivery so far has been good. That's
going to come through to Roman's left-hand side of the penalty area. Swings it back post. Looked like he got a lot more on it than he needed to, but Rascal plays it to Gassama, who with the outside of the boot knocks it well wide. I mean, I think I could understand what he's trying to do, just shape it to the back post. The outside of the boot, it was very ambitious, and it did not come off, and it's a goal kick to St Mirren. 7 minutes in, St Mirren 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I felt Raskin, once he'd taken his touch, could have got the shot away himself, but he opts to lay in Gassama, and at that point he's trying the shot, but flash it across the face for me, Andy. Rangers had bodies in there.
You can't blame them for that one, that's for sure.
What a bad connection of a ball that was.
Yeah, as Andy was saying, that problematic position for Rangers, despite the big loan signing in January of Scholes, and it's not really worked for them as yet. Can't really recall them having apart from maybe the Hearts game, of having a big influence on any game as yet, and that's a disappointment for Rangers fans, and it's why Jiri Gassama is being tried there again. But equally, it's not really worked for him on that right flank this season. He started the season so well on the left, but Mikey Moore has kind of made that position his own as Romans prepares to take a throw-in on the left-hand side, midway inside the St Mirren half. Poor control from the player of the month, Chermiti, and it's out for another throw-in to Rangers on the left-hand side. This one goes down the left flank for Naderi. Gogic is right on his back, went out of play. It looks like it should be a St Mirren throw-in, indeed it is, as Naderi is introduced to Alex Gogic, who's not a man to stand on ceremony with anyone, regardless of the transfer fee paid for him. King clips it forward up to the halfway line. Lindelöf with Giga right at his back. Lindelöf uses his strength, tries to slip it through for Phillips, but Giga was in the way. Here's Mikey Moore trying to get it beyond King, but he can't do so. St Mirren pick up. Devaney out to King, right hand side, closed down by Romans, and off the Belgian for a St Mirren throw in midway inside their own half, right hand side. No goals as yet, 9 minutes in. Dundee Derby to come at 2 o'clock. That'll be another interesting one. Maybe not quite as much at stake in that one, but City bragging rights, and certainly Dundee can go above their neighbours with a victory at Dens, so that's something worth fighting for, as Rangers get another throw in here on the left hand side to be taken by Tour Romans. 22-year-old, another January signing, and he has worked out well. Jaden McGowan's barely had a look in since Romans arrived.
Yeah, he's really impressed me, to Romans. I think he's been the pick of the bunch from the January transfer window. I think Morton Weghorst left there, Alistair.
It is good spot, Steve.
Thank you.
Not sure what his particular interest in this.
I was wondering that myself.
As Rangers have it, left-hand side, Chukwani doing well, gets it back from Romans. Tavernier's over on the left-hand side at the moment for some reason, but Romans has it. just outside the penalty area. Chukwani gets it back to Tavernier, stumbles under a challenge from Phillips. Phillips tells him to get to his feet. The referee plays on anyway as Fernandez has it now. It's Tavernier, clips that to the back post, looking for Gassama. Tanzer unclear what to do with it. Gassama again makes a poor connection, but it's blocked anyway by Freckleton, and out for a throw-in on the far side for Rangers. Sorry, a corner kick for Rangers on that far side. Certainly the pressure has been mounting, and Rangers hoping to make it count sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's the fourth corner already in this opening 10 minutes. You can quite rightly see that Rangers are just trying to put balls into the box. Makes it undefend them. But for the corner kicks especially, it's been an area where Rangers have been so strong. You want to try and make the most of these opportunities they're getting.
Two Romans is over this one from the right-hand side, the left-footed player. Again, Mikey Moore offering himself as a short option, but Romans clips it in near post. The header comes in from Raskin, big claims for a penalty, and it's stopped on the line by Shamal George. In the end, I think it was half-hearted claims, really hopeful ones, although VAR will no doubt check it as St Mirren survive. When the shot eventually came in, it was a good stop from Shamal George, and now they're coming forward. Stopped by Fernandez, and now the Rangers players look to the referee, but no indication from him to stall the game, so clearly that claim was without merit. St Mirren survive, and it's a first save of the match for Shamal George. He had to act pretty instinctively to keep it out. I'm not sure who it was in the end who poked it goalwards, but Shamal George saving nonetheless, and it remains 0-0 after about 11 minutes. And St Mirren try and come forward for more or less the first time in the game, but it's well read by Giga, and Giga clips it forward. Chermiti with the header for Gassama to the right hand side. He's lost out though, and here's Liam Donnelly getting on the ball to the St Mirren right for Richardson, and then back to King. And now Phillips has made a good run right hand side. Phillips looking to cut it back here. Richardson into the box, back comes Romans, but it's a cross goal, and Romans was trying to see that out for a goal kick, and Richardson did really well, wrapped the boot around him, tried to get it across for Lindeloo. Rangers managed to scramble it behind, and it will be a St Mirren corner.
It was really good play from St Mirren, releasing Killian Phillips down this right hand side. He picks out Richardson with a cutback. His first touch was poor. Could he have hit it first time? I don't know. And then Roman's just trying to usher the ball out. Richardson gets a wee nick on it and out for the corner. Let's see what St Mirren can do. It'll be an in-swinger from Tanzer.
Yeah, right hand side, the left-footed Tanzer's across to take it, and now it's a chance for St Mirren to try and cause a few problems in the Rangers penalty area as Lindeloo and Naderi, I think it is, getting a talking to there from Stephen McLean before this corner kick comes in. Rangers have had all the pressure, but now they are under pressure from the St Mirren corner. Tanzer, what can he make of it? It's a good delivery to the back post. Couple of Rangers heads get to at the same time. Comes out as far as Devani. Devani then fouling Chermiti inside the Rangers penalty area. The Rangers strikers rolling about there, and it will be a free kick to the visitors. Certainly Rangers, I think, complaining that it was a challenge that maybe was worthy of more than just a free kick in their favour, but at the moment Stephen McLean's not inclined to show any cards, and it will simply be that Rangers free kick inside their own box with just 13 and a half on the clock. Still no goals, but St Mirren with their first opportunity to try and hurt Rangers.
Yeah, Fernandez deals with the in-swinging corner well. He heads it out to the edge of the box, and Devani just tries to swing at it with his left boot, doesn't quite connect with it, and then he goes chasing after it. Fouls Chermiti, but the game's played on, so certainly no more than a foul.
Chukwani under a bit of pressure there from Phillips, but he gets the ball back to Butland, who in turn plays it out to Fernandez. Fernandez back in field to Chukwani. It's back to Butland again. This is not the kind of day where you want to be messing around at the back, I wouldn't have thought, but Butland gets it forward. Gogic gets his head to it, then he puts his head straight into Richardson. That is a bad one. Richardson's got, Gogic has got a bloody head, and Richardson's taken one right in the face.
Richardson's is worse. Richardson's eyes really, really bad. I mean, Gogic, both of them bleeding really badly here. It's a horrendous collision, but I think Richardson, this could be problematic for him.
Richards prone on the ground, being attended to by the medics. Gogic, the warrior, is still on his feet, but the blood is gushing out of a cut on his shaven head, but as he won that second ball, having headed it up in the air, his first header, he and Richardson both went for it, both eyes on the ball, and they came together, and as Stephen said, Richardson looks like he's taken the worst of it right in the eye, and I'd be very surprised if he's going to be able to continue. Gogic can be patched up, you would imagine. He's going to just go and try and check on his teammate there, but it's a pretty,
I think they're already saying
blow.
Yeah, I think they're already saying that the substitution's going to have to be made for Richardson. Massive blow for St Mirren. This really bad. Gogic will play on. I'd imagine you'll get the old Terry Butcher strapping on his head, but for Richardson, I think the cut on his eye is particularly bad, and he'll be coming off.
They don't really have a natural replacement
this
for Jaden Richardson on the bench.
I think Alan Campbell was getting called in there.
Yeah, it looked like Alan Campbell there was coming back.
He'll go to right back. I don't know whether it'll be a...
This is a conundrum for Craig McLeish, isn't it?
It's exactly what he didn't want, because defensively they've only one defender on the bench, and it's young Thomas Faulkner, who's never played a first team game in his life. He's a left-sided player, good young player, but it's a lot to ask him to come on. I think they'll put Campbell in, but does Campbell go to right wing back?
Well, Richardson's back on his feet and he's being helped off by one of the medical staff here at St Mirren, but there's no way that he's going to be able to continue. And looks like Gogic is getting staples in his head to stem the bleeding.
Well, I think Tom will point that out. I think you've seen that Jaden Richardson's cut looked a lot more severe than Alex Gogic's, so I think it's going to take a few minutes to rectify that cut on Jaden Richardson's eye. St Mirren don't have a few minutes to play with 10 men in this game, so they've had to call onto their bench. Like I say, it's difficult for them, not a natural replacement for Jaden Richardson, so we'll see if it is Alan Campbell that slots in that position, or there's a change in midfield with somebody coming out to fill that void at right wing back.
Gogic is still getting treatment. There's a lengthy delay here for that head knock. Gogic is just having been spoken to by the referee here. I think he's going to have to just delay coming back on, but it will be the introduction of Alan Campbell, who hasn't had a lot of game time since signing for St Mirren, but he's going to get an early shout here to come on. And Richard King's also been spoken to there by Jamie Langfield, among others, and he's certainly a right-sided centre-back. I wonder if he could do a job out on the right-hand side. I think that is what's going to happen. Is Liam Donnelly maybe going to go back into centre-back in his place?
Looks like it.
Yeah, Donnelly back to centre-back alongside Gogic and Freckleton, and Richard King right wing-back, and Campbell into the midfield. It's probably the simplest solution, even though it's not especially simple, as Gogic gets back involved once more, but it's out with Romans here, left-hand side, play back underway after that lengthy stoppage. Naderi gets his head to the ball in from Romans, but it's a tame header, an easy take for Shamal George. We've now played, I'm struggling to get my phone to click into action here with my gloves on, so
18 minutes.
Right, Andy.
See that big screen to your right, Al?
Yeah.
With a clock on it.
Could have looked at that.
Yeah, that's...
I knew there was a reason you two were here.
Yeah.
Rangers trying to win possession back deep in the St Mirren half, and they've done so, and it's Moore does well to get out to the left-hand side here for Romans. Romans closed down, but it's back with Moore on the angle of the box. Chukwani now. Back to the centre circle for Giga. Lundaloo comes to try and press him, but Tavernier picks up right-hand side. Just about 10 yards inside the St Mirren half. And now back with Giga inside his own half. Tavernier once more, closed down by O'Hara. O'Hara does enough to stop the ball going down the line. It's out for a Rangers throw-in. 19.5 on the clock now, and it's St Mirren 0, Rangers 0. There'll be plenty time already added on at the end of this first half because of that delay with the treatment to Richardson and Gogic. Giga shepherds it back to his goalkeeper Jack Buckland. He'll be closed down by Lundaloo. fires it up towards the halfway line looking for Chermiti. Chermiti gets the header on, but it's picked up by Devani, who knocks it back to Freckleton. Now Gogic, about 10 yards outside his penalty area, closed down by Moore. And then King, now operating at right wing back, plays it back to Shamal George. Freckleton now for St Mirren, bringing it out, back from Campbell to George once more. Not the prettiest of watches this game so far. Difficult for either side to really play particularly good football in such difficult conditions as Naderi brings down Donnelly. Gogic takes a free kick quickly, but it's right onto the head of Fernandez. In goes O'Hara to win it in the middle of the park. Good play from the skipper, and Devani then gets it to Tanzer, and now it's with Freckleton just inside his own half. Back to Gogic once more. Danny Rule at the edge of his technical area, trying to get some instructions on, as Phillips picks up here for St Mirren on the right hand side. Now it's King in an advanced area. Good foot in there though from Chukwani, and then wins it back for Rangers. And now Moore deep in his own territory, trying to drive forward away from a couple of challenges. Then Raskan sweeps out to Tavernier, and Rangers trying to get bodies forward now in this attack. Right hand side is Tavernier, swings it into the area. It's over Chermiti, but Naderi will collect it. Left hand side, keeps it in play, knocks it back to Romans. Romans with an opportunity to cross here, blocked by King, behind for another Rangers corner. 0-0 after 21 minutes.
It's excellent play by Mikey Moore. He picks it up at the edge of Rangers box and drifts by 3-4 St Mirren players. Releases Raskin, then releases James Tavernier down that right hand side. Well, this time Rangers do commit bodies into the box. James Tavernier just slightly overhits that cross, works it back out to Romans.
Should have crossed it first time
already. He should have. It's a sixth corner already. You know, Rangers have not quite managed to test Shamal George with these deliveries into the box. So we hope to make this one count though.
Tavernier again from the left hand side. Moore with him as Devani stands 10 yards away, but Tavernier sends it straight in. It's right on top of George, but it's onto the roof of the net, and that corner kick comes to nothing for Rangers. And midway inside the first half, it remains St Mirren 0, Rangers 0. Shamal George had just really that one save to make. The ball was poked his way from about 6 yards out, but he managed to keep that out. Otherwise, St Mirren have defended the situation pretty well. At the other end, unable to really force Jack Butland into any action, but
you've really got to be sending that corner out towards the kind of 18-yard line and let it swing in.
Well, I mean, Tavernier, his previous efforts have been pretty much into the 6-yard box, but that one didn't trouble George, as Gogic is challenged there by Chermiti, and Freckleton has to come across and knock it out of play as Rangers come forward once more. Still unable to make their dominance tell in terms of the scoreline, as Chukwani gets it from Moore, left hand side, back to Fernandez, closed down by Lundaloo, who's barely had a kick of the ball. It's played square to Giga, coming forward from the centre circle out to the right hand side to Tavernier, and back to Giga once more onto the halfway line to Fernandez. He waits, and Raskan wanted it left hand side, but Fernandez thinks better of it and goes back to his goalkeeper. And now it's with Giga up to the halfway line. Naderi tried to turn away from Freckleton, who got a touch in the ball though, and St Mirren have it through Gogic, and now Devani plays it back to Donnelly, now operating in that back three. Former Kilmarnock midfielder. Out it comes to King, right hand side, first time ball forward. Fernandez is there on the halfway line to head it back into the St Mirren half. Campbell though helps it forwards. Phillips plays it down the right hand side. King was offside, yeah, the assistant referee here.
He's brought it back for a foul, surely. No, is he giving the offside?
Yeah.
I think he probably tried to play advantage for St Mirren there. There was a foul, but offside it is.
Free kick Rangers then, quickly taken to Fernandez. Phillips chasing a ball down. Butland gets out to the right hand side to Tavernier. Still no goals in the Smysa Stadium as Raskan manages to keep it in play and gets it to Gassama, who plays it off Stephen McLean. Rangers still have it, so the referee allows the play to continue. Romans now on the left hand side for Moore. Good challenge by Donnelly to stop him in his tracks, and then a good 50-50 with Romans, and St Mirren still have it. Campbell gets it to King. Pull back there from Romans. St Mirren get the free kick midway inside their own half, and they can get themselves up the park a bit. 25 minutes played here.
I mean, Rangers have looked a threat from set plays, but in open play, they've not really cut St Mirren open yet, Andy.
No, and Jedi Gassama's been given the jersey today. No, he's not passed it to a Rangers jersey yet. No, that's the first time it's not went straight to a St Mirren jersey, but Steve McLean passed it to that time. For Rangers to start creating anything for open play, they need more for the wide man.
Clip forward by Romans. Donnelly does enough to knock it out of play under pressure from Chermiti. No goals in Paisley. As Romans takes the throw in back the way to Fernandez, just inside his own half. He goes all the way back to Butland, and Rangers will have to start again here. St Mirren pushing up a little bit to try and prevent themselves being too deep. As the ball's played out to Moore, midway inside his own half, to the left to Fernandez. He slices it out of play. St Mirren have the throw-in. Phillips was keen to take a quick one, but I think it's probably a little bit further back than that. And Richard King eventually will take the throw-in from this right-hand side, midway inside the Rangers half. St Mirren on a pretty abysmal run of league form, although the one victory they have got in the last 13 came against the league leaders Hearts here.
St Mirren really struggling to do anything in a creative sense in the match so far.
It's forward from Tavernier for Naderi. He's unable to keep it, but it's been lost to Raskin. Raskin inside the box, he couldn't get there first. Rangers trying to force it goalwards. Claims again for handball inside the box. Nothing given by Stephen McLean, cleared as far as Romans. Now it's Moore, left-hand side, has to turn away. He still has possession, knocks it back to Chukwani. Moore once more, left-hand side. Certainly was no evidence from our vantage point of a handball, but there's a couple of claims from Rangers players as Raskin and others try to force the ball home.
Don't know why Raskin pulled out the challenge. He's got to go into that for me.
Here's Gassama outside the St Mirren box. Knocks it back to Chukwani, closed down by Campbell, plays it back to Giga. Giga out to the right-hand side to Tavernier. And back to Fernandez again, goes back to Jack Butland. Butland quickly out to Romans. Romans closed down by Devaney, and again he uses his goalkeeper. This time plays it out to the right-hand side where Fernandez is taking up position. 27.5 played. Back with Butland again. Butland closed down by Lundalu, because he had a good ball forward to Raskin. Raskin forward now for Gassama in a central area, bursting forward. Can he pick a pass this time? Straight at Gogic. Really poor from Jedi Gassama. He's really not taking his opportunity in the starting lineup thus far. 28 gone, no goals.
He looks like he's got no confidence, Gassama. His decision making so poor.
Fernandez with the arms round Lindeloo there. That's the roar from the St Mirren fans looking for a free kick, but nothing given. And Rangers continue in possession with Butland for Fernandez. Fernandez clipping that one forward, looking for Moore, but King's first to it, and it'll be picked up in the midfield by Devaney, and out to the right-hand side for King. King coming forward on that right flank, still allowed to go without a challenge from Rangers. Into the box it goes. Butland lets it bounce once and grabs it, and then rolls it out for Tavernier. And Rangers look to come forward, looking for the opening goal. Into Gassama it goes. Steps away this time from the challenge of Freckleton. Back with Tavernier, more or less on the halfway line. It's Raskin, infield to Chukwani, closed down by Campbell, back to Giga. Giga now to Romans, who's in plenty of room here. Left central position, out to Chermiti. Chermiti, we haven't seen too much of him thus far, just rolls it into Chukwani, challenged by Phillips. St Mirren have it back, and it's King, and St Mirren can counter here. Phillips now crossing the halfway line. St Mirren trying to get bodies forward in support. Devaney looked for the run from Lindeloo, but Lindeloo had checked back the way, and the St Mirren attack comes to nothing. As you say, Stephen, it has been difficult for St Mirren to create anything of any great note in the opening 29 minutes. 0-0.
Yeah, they're lacking a bit of cohesion when they get into Rangers' final third. Really struggling to kind of put some passes together. I mean, Lindeloo's got a lonely job up there. Phillips is trying to get up in support with them, but they can't really get anything of note so far in the game in an attacking sense. They're defending well enough, the energy is good, but don't look a threat at all.
Rangers have it. Moore coming deep to look for the ball and try and create. Plays it to Fernandez. Fernandez back to Butland. Goalless on the half hour at the Smythe Stadium, which is probably good news for the Hearts and Celtic fans listening. Maybe also for the Kilmarnock fans listening. As challenge goes in over on the far side, and Campbell is penalised for a foul on Raskan. He's kind of been drifting over to that right-hand side a lot in this opening half hour. Maybe not quite as effective as when he's playing in the more central area. But Rangers looking for ways to penetrate this St Mirren backline and pretty much failing to do so thus far. As the free kick's taken back the way by Raskan to Tavernier. He now tries to clip it forward over the top, but it's read by Donnelly. Only as far though as Gassama. Gassama back out to the right to Raskan once more. Almost outside the St Mirren box. A dangerous looking ball in, and there's Roberts to tap it in the back post. It beat everyone, including the goalkeeper, and Robbins was the furthest advanced, and from just about a yard out of the back door he slips it past Jamal George, and Rangers, out of almost nothing, have the opening goal in Paisley. 31 minutes on the clock at St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Well, Rangers take the direct approach. It works its way out to Gassama, who plays it on the right hand side to Nico Raskin, and you've got to say works it onto his weaker left side, and it's an unbelievable delivery, just clipping it in behind the St Mirren back three, and it's two Romans that's ghosting in at the back post and just knocks it past Jamal George. It's the first real opportunity the Rangers have created in this game, and it's the left back, the ever impressive left back since he's joined the club, that gets that opening goal for Rangers.
The ball in sensational, really good ball into a dangerous area, but some of them have to have somebody back there covering. I don't know if it was Richard King that was out of position or Donnelly. I need to see it again, but it looked far too easy for Romans to ghost in at the back post, and it was the simplest of finishes for him.
Quick check on the goal, and Steve McLean's point to the centre spots to confirm the goal is given, and two Romans has his first goal since joining the club. And all of a sudden the Rangers fans find their voice. 31 minutes in, as two Romans comes in and knocks the ball past Jamal George, who was somewhat surprised, I think, that the ball was allowed to travel as far as it did, all the way across his 6-yard box, and no St Mirren defender was able to get there, and Romans was the man who eventually got a contact on it to knock it past the goalkeeper and give his side the advantage, which you would have to say in the balance of play. They haven't created massive amounts, but Rangers probably do deserve that one goal lead, Andy.
Yeah, they've certainly had a lot of control in the game. I think they've tried to make St Mirren defend as much as they possibly can, and for the most part I think St Mirren have defended quite well. Rangers haven't created many opportunities, but there's no doubt whatsoever it's the first real moment of quality with that ball in for Nico Raskin. And two Romans, he's been brought in to be a threat on that left hand side. We've seen a lot from him in terms of him being the provider on that left, but he gets his first goal by just ghosting in at that back post, and it's a lovely little guided finish by Jamal George.
There's Raskan playing it forward, this time for Naderi, right hand side. Across goes Gogic. Rangers throw in. St Mirren fans furious, thought that came off Naderi last. I think they might have a case. Yeah, the referee's actually taking the decision out of the assistant's hands and giving the throw in to St Mirren. I think that probably is the right call in the end. Gogic and the St Mirren fans were lambasting the assistant for giving it Rangers' way.
Yeah, he was getting it.
So St Mirren have it deep in their own half. It's played forward, hopefully looking for Lindelöf, but Rangers pick up once more. And it's picked up by Freckleton, Devani, and Freckleton again just lashes it forward, but it's kind of aimless. Every time it goes forward from St Mirren, it tends to be that kind of hopeful ball, and as you've said on more than one occasion, Stephen, Lindelöf ploughing that lone furrow is
it's a tough shift.
Very little joy.
Well, they're not able to build with numbers when they do go in attack, and when the ball goes forward quickly, the midfield are detached, and certainly the wing backs. I mean, I know St Mirren are struggling now with Richardson off in terms of King playing this wing back, but Tanser and King in the wing back positions haven't been high at all in the game, so you've got no width whatsoever.
That's Tavernier out to Gassama, right hand side, into Raskan, right of centre, back out the way to Gassama, almost at the corner flag, right hand side for Rangers. Raskan once more picks up on the touchline over on the far side, about 15 yards from the corner flag. Infield he comes, bless you Stephen. In it comes from Raskan. Romans picks up once more left hand side, tucks it back into Chermiti. Chermiti about 25 yards from goal, loses out to Phillips. Phillips can't get beyond Fernandez though. Chermiti looks frustrated at the moment. Andy, not a lot's happening for him so far in the game.
No, and listen, he's playing. It's obviously a partnership with Ryan Nadiri, but a lot of the work for Yusuf Samit at this moment in time is out in the channel, Tom. For me, he needs to stay in the penalty area, so Rangers have got plenty of bodies out in the wings with the full-backs and the wingers. Do your stuff in the penalty box and try and be a threat in there.
I completely agree, and his link-up play when he has had it's been untidy. I know it's bobbly and it's windy and it's difficult, but he's not been very secure in terms of when the ball's gone up to him to link the play.
St Mirren free kick midway inside their own half. If anything, the wind's getting wilder as the first half progresses.
Oh no.
My notes flying across the main stand here. As Campbell now tries to play it down the right for Phillips. Was he caught there? I think he was. The assistant's flagged, and the referee Stephen McLean gives St Mirren the free kick. Chukwane claiming he didn't make any contact, but it looked very much like he did, and St Mirren get a free kick in a decent position, you have to say, a yard or two in from the right touch line, but only about 20 yards from the byline. And
this is their best opportunity, of troubling Rangers. They've not managed it from open play, but this is kind of the first opportunity they've had to get their bigger players up into the box, load the box. It's all about the delivery now from Mark O'Hara.
Yeah, O'Hara from the right hand side, the St Mirren captain, looking to try and restore parity for his side. Rangers have got absolutely everyone back inside that penalty area to defend this situation. They know the threat that St Mirren can potentially pose here as O'Hara swings it into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's Gogic that gets his head to it, but he can't angle the header anywhere near the target. And Raskan, who was trying to match Gogic there, took a little bit of a blow to the face, but he's okay, he's back up, and Rangers have taken the goal kick. We've played 37 minutes in Paisley. It's St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. To Romans with his first Rangers goal, giving his side the advantage. That's given away cheaply by Giga though in a dangerous area. Lundaloo picks up left hand side. I think the officials guessing who that came off last. I certainly couldn't tell. They've given the throw in St Mirren's way, and Tanza will leave that to Freckleton to take back the way to Gogic on the halfway line, left hand side. Freckleton then plays it into Devani. He comes back the way to Donnelly, just inside his own half, sweeps it out to the right hand side for King. Early ball forward for Lundaloo. King takes over once more, but he's dispossessed by Fernandez. Good feet from Fernandez, able to drive forward for Rangers. Can he pick a pass here out to the right hand side? It goes to Gassama. Gassama in off that flank, away from Freckleton, plays it in looking for Chermiti. He flicks it on. Again, it's rather hopeful from Rangers. Nothing really cohesive there, and St Mirren get it clear, but it'll be picked up by Giga midway inside his own half. 7 to play in this first period. Rangers leading by a goal to nil, and here's the goal scorer, Romans, on the halfway line, closed down by King, has to come back the way, and in the end turns it back to Jack Butland, who first time launches it over the halfway line. Freckleton watches it and nods it down. Mikey Moore picks up, comes back into his own half and plays it to Giga, out to the right hand side to Raskan. It's an interesting position that Raskan's been playing this half, and he delivers it to the back post here for Chermiti, just outside the box, playing for a handball, nothing given, tries to check back onto his right foot rather than just hitting it with the left, and in the end it's behind. It's a corner kick given by Stephen McLean. I think he was in two minds there, but Chermiti seemed to have an opportunity to hit it on his left foot, and for some reason turns back the way.
No idea what he's doing. I mean, he was lucky to get the wee break to make the half yard for the shot. Got to take that on your left foot, Andy, all day long.
I mean, he does so well to work it on his left hand side. I think it's Donnelly that loses his footing, and it just opens up for him to just have a strike on his weaker left side, but then tries to cut back into his right. Donnelly gets back and ushers it out to a corner for Rangers, but for me, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities in this type of game, so you've got to try and take a shot at goal when you get one.
Here's short corner taken this time. Tavernier for Moore, and back to Tavernier. Left hand side, curls it. It's a dangerous looking ball. Well headed away though by Donnelly. As far as Romans. Romans gets it back to Tavernier. He helps it back in to the penalty area. Who's it going to break to? Comes for Giga. Giga out to the right hand side for Chukwani. Rangers looking to get a second before the interval. They've got about 5.5 minutes plus added on time. Chukwani tries to get the better of Lundaloo, who slides it behind. There's going to be another Rangers corner, this time on the right hand side. They've had plenty of corners. They've got 1 goal through 2 Romans, and they've certainly dominated the ball. They've had more of the attacking play. Can they turn it into further goals as Romans prepares to take this corner kick from the right hand side? The Belgian already on the score sheet. He's got Mikey Moore, and he plays it short to him on that right hand side. Back with Romans. Now he swings it. It's a lovely looking ball, and it's knocked wide. Who did it come off? It's a goal kick this time. I'm not sure if that was Fernandez who got the last touch on that inside the 6-yard box. A big chance, whoever it fell to, but they couldn't hit the target, and it remains St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Well, it's a cluster of bodies, so like he says, Alistair, it's really difficult to tell that who gets the final touch, but if it is a Rangers one, then they've got to score. I mean, it's a great delivery for 2 Romans. It's just inside the 6-yard box, and whoever it is, if they divert it on target, well, if Chermiti diverts it on target, it's a goal, given the area of the pitch it's in, but puts it wide of the post.
Naderi losing out to Campbell on the halfway line. King helps it forward, but there's Fernandez stepping in, and Tavernier now picks up. Stevens trying to see a replay of that. Chermiti's certainly the one who's being picked up by the cameras in the aftermath of the chance, but either way it doesn't end up in the back of the net. St Mirren come forward looking for an equaliser. Giga though stepping in to knock the ball over the halfway line, and Donnelly will just play it back to Shamal George, who plays it out to Gogic. Well, it is Chermiti who comes in on it about 4 yards out. Absolutely
got ahead of target.
Yeah, no idea how he fails to do so. As in goes Chukwani, a little bit heavily on Devani. It will be a free kick taken from the wrong place, so it'll be pulled back. 3 minutes of the 45 to play as O'Hara stumbles when he picks up possession, and Raskan comes back and takes it off him, but plays a poor pass forward looking for Gassama, and St Mirren have it back, and it's Devani for Phillips, who will have a fair old bit of added on time for an earlier stoppage as St Mirren look for an equaliser here. Phillips, a good ball in. Lundaloo with the header straight into the arms of Jack Butland. St Mirren's best move of the game, arguably, but Lundaloo couldn't get enough on the header to really trouble the goalkeeper, and it's still St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, it was well worked from St Mirren again. Phillips coming out to this right hand side. He puts in the early cross, but it's slightly behind Daniel Lundaloo, and he couldn't get enough purchase on the header.
Now Derry getting the better of Freckleton, and he's been given as a free kick. I'm not sure about that one.
Well, I tell you what, I think Ryan Nadiri just gets wrong side at Freckleton. I think he buys one off of Stephen McLean. I think that's really, really soft, and you've got to say, it's odds on for Rangers to score, or certainly create an unbelievable opportunity for that. It didn't look like a foul for me. St Mirren trying to come forward again. Lundaloo's offside. Stephen, did you think there was a foul in there?
Certainly borderline, wasn't it? Could have gone either way. How are we getting rained on? We're in a stand at the back of a stand.
Yeah, we're like, what, 10 yards, easily 10 yards under a roof, and the rain is somehow coming into the back of the stand, as that adds to the torrential conditions we've had in these in the first half. 43.5 on the clock, 1 goal in it in Rangers' favour, as Tavernier picks up on the halfway line. Now Chukwani, closed down by Devani, back to Tavernier. Tavernier will turn it back to his goalkeeper from the halfway line. Butland takes a touch, closed down by Phillips. Again, clips it forward, looking for Naderi. Gogic matches him well. Not just matches him, beats him. And now Devani can come forward, and it's Phillips. Touches it to Lundaloo, out to the right-hand side. Good play. Here's Richard King, up towards the edge of the Rangers box. Sends in towards O'Hara, but Tavernier beats him to it and gets it forward. And then Chermiti for Raskan, helps it forward. Naderi back into the path of Raskan. Across will go Gogic. Mikey Moore looks like he's offside. He'll continue into the box. It's Mikey Moore with a chance, and it's stabbed behind, and now the flag goes up, and it will be a free kick to St Mirren for the offside. It looked in the build-up as if that would be the case, and indeed eventually the officials agree. And as we tick towards the 45-minute mark, it's still St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Well, we got a glimpse about a minute ago what Danny Rule thinks about his striker's performance so far, because the ball goes into Yusuf Chamiti, he tries to do the little overs, and it's an over straight to a St Mirren player, and Danny Rule's reaction was of fury. Now, Rangers attacking players at this moment in time have to do a lot more, as Alex Gogic's head is gushing again.
Yeah, it's opened up, hasn't it?
4 minutes added on time are coming, and
what is this weather?
yeah, it's pretty outrageous. Gogic is forced off, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to come back on while the 4 minutes of injury time are played. He's asking the fourth official, can he come on? The fourth official's given him the OK, but it's just time to wait for the moment. I think they've just plastered a whole load of Vaseline on that to just try and stem the bleeding for another few minutes until they can get him in at half-time and patch him up a bit better. St Mirren have the throw in there in a good advanced area, but they've come back the way. It's Freckleton for Gogic. It'll take a lot more than a simple 6-inch wound in his head to stop Alex Gogic. Rangers get it forwards. Naderi challenging. Chermiti trying to pick up, but the ball breaks to Tanzer. It's another poor ball forward, and across goes Giga to try and get it clear. Freckleton gets his head to it down the left-hand side. All helped on by O'Hara. Back goes Chukwani. Then Phillips picks up. He pokes it towards Donnelly. And Donnelly out to Freckleton, left-hand side, just inside his own half. Now it's O'Hara. Tanzer, though, can't find a teammate. Forward come Rangers down the right-hand side. Gogic, though, sweeping up once more, and Freckleton picks up on the left. Can't find a teammate. It's Tavernier. Chukwani picks up just inside the St Mirren half. Now it's Romans, the man whose goal separates the sides in the second minute of stoppage time. Here's Mikey Moore. Moore back to the halfway line for Fernandez. Fernandez closed down by Campbell, plays it back to his goalkeeper. Jack Bullen's been kept busy with back passes, but not particularly by any St Mirren attacking players. Mikey Moore picks up just inside his own half, fires it forward. That's a terrible ball by Mikey Moore, and all the way through to Shamal George there. Gogic now picks up just outside his own box. A couple of minutes left of stoppage time. Rangers leading by a goal to nil. 2 Romans on 31 minutes as Naderi now gets it for Raskan. Raskan away from a couple of challenges just outside the penalty area, right hand side. Blocked by Freckleton as it came into the area. I hope your listening pleasure's not been too disturbed by the wind and the microphones. It sounds like it's a bit distorted in my ears at least, but hopefully it's not coming through too badly down the radio. But it is quite ridiculous, the wind and rain here in Paisley. Nonetheless, the players trying to make the most of it as Gogic picks up on a Rangers throw-in and gets it forward to Lindelöw. Now he's joining in the attack here. Gogic tries to play it for Lindelöw once more, but Giga should be too quick and gets there and knocks it back to Butland once more. Lindelöw will chase him down, but Butland gets it cleared over the halfway line once more. Won by Donnelly in the air, picked up by Chukwani. Just a minute left of stoppage time. Rangers leading by a goal to nil. Tavernier clips it forward, looking to try and play it in for Naderi, but Freckleton chases it back to his goalkeeper, and it remains 1-0 Rangers. St Mirren get it moving quickly, trying to find a way to get an equaliser before the interval. King, that was a fortunate that failed to Mark O'Hara, because I think he was looking for Campbell and it was well behind him. But St Mirren still have it, and it's Gogic just in the edge of the centre circle with 30 seconds remaining in this first period. Out from Devani to the left-hand side for Tanzer. Looks down that flank for O'Hara, but Tavernier in the way. Rangers will want to make sure there are no slip-ups in the final seconds of this first half as Gogic fires it straight through the middle, looking for the run of Devani, but Fernandez was in the way. Tavernier then helps it forward down the right-hand side, and Stephen McLean brings the first half to a close. Well, it's been played in ridiculous conditions, and the players have worked hard to do their best to make it something of a spectacle. As it is, we have just one goal to show for their efforts, and it came from Rangers just after the half-hour mark. Nico Raskan with the ball in from the right-hand side, and it evaded absolutely everyone, and it fooled Jamal George as well, and it eventually fell to two Romans who had managed to make his way into the 6-yard box at the back post to tap in his first Rangers goal and make the half-time scoreline St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
The Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
On BBC iPlayer.
Get back! Everyone get back!
Suspect on the move. Lower ground level.
Everything from heart pounders.
He is the man behind this.
Beautiful strike. What a ball! It's 2-0!
To heart warmers.
Welcome. I'm so proud of you. Well done.
Yay! Mum is surprising me, and it's quite inspiring.
I feel alive. This is amazing.
From high stakes action to feel good favourites. Wherever you stream, BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. Half-time in Paisley, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Terrible conditions there for the players, largely. Two Romans were the only goal so far. The SWPL gets up and running again with the first of the post-split fixtures. 1 o'clock kickoffs, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Montrose, Hamilton. And then in the top half of the division, again 1 o'clock, some big games there. Celtic playing Hibernian, Glasgow City against Partick Thistle. 4:10 live on BBC Alapa, Hearts against Rangers. We'll keep an eye on those. Remember, Sports Scene on tonight, 7:15, BBC Scotland channel, with all the action from right across the weekend, the 4 games from yesterday and the 2 we are bringing you live here on Sports Sound this afternoon. The second of those, of course, will be the 2 o'clock kickoff at Dens Park, where Dundee and Dundee United prepare for the latest City derby. Liam McLeod will be describing all the action from there. He's already at the stadium. I think you've got the team news for us, Liam?
Yes, I do. Just dropped, actually. Dundee, unsurprisingly, are going with the same lineup as beat Motherwell last week. Indeed, that's 4 games in a row that Stephen Presley's been able to put the same 11 out. So that's good for them. It tells you how well Dundee are going just now. And when you look at the sides at the bottom part of the Premiership just now, Dundee, with a chance to go above their neighbours today in the derby, are probably the side with the best form out of the bottom 6 right now. So that Dundee 11 is McCracken in goal, Wright, Astley, Graham, Samuels, Hamilton and Cottrell, with Congreve, Danda, Yogan, and Simon Murray, who celebrates his 34th birthday today. Of course, former Dundee United striker, but he's a dark blue, is Simon Murray. The bench: O'Hara, Kumetio, Robertson, Hay, Halliday, Riley, Wesley, Wright and Jones. Disappointment for Dundee United last week as they were knocked out of the Scottish Cup at Falkirk. Jim Goodwin's made 3 changes to the side. Out come Kamara, Trapanovsky and Saps for Trapanovsky. Was injured, came off early in the cup tie last week. So United go with Maynard Brewer in goal. Yovu comes back in alongside Graham and Kereshtes. At the back it will be Stevenson. Chevy drops back into midfield. Agyei and Ferry, with Farrugia and Fata also coming back into the side to support Waters up front. The bench for the Tangerines: Richard, Strain, Esselink, Kamara, Sapsford, Eskison, Dolchek, Cleo Harding and Johnny Russell. So that is the lineup for the 2 sides there. Duncan Nicholson's going to be taking charge of his first Dundee derby here. Jim Goodwin, this is his 7th Dundee derby. He's won 2 of them. Both those victories came here at Dens Park, and of course, Richard, Falkirk supporters will be very interested in the outcome of this one, because a Dundee victory would confirm a sensational top 6 place for the Bairns, who were just promoted less than a year ago, and it would just again another underlining of what a fabulous return to the top table it's been for Falkirk. But yeah, this is an opportunity for both Dundee clubs to put on a show here. Much better conditions, thankfully, than what you are witnessing in Paisley this afternoon. There was a bit of rain earlier. There's not really much of a wind right now. The rain's gone off. Yeah, it's set for a decent fare, I would have thought.
Going to say, Liam, it's been a fatal turnaround, hasn't it, by Stephen Paisley. It took him a little while, perhaps, just to get his thinking across to those players, or at least to get them performing. And when you think of the atmosphere there was around Dens at the early part of the season, all changed now.
Yeah, I mean, I did a couple of early season games here, and they were not having him. You know, and I mean, I always think back to when he was appointed Dundee manager. I think it was STV did the Vox Pops, as we call them, outside the stadium with Dundee supporters on the day he was announced. There was one guy in particular in his car who wound his window down and shouted how much of a disgrace it was, this appointment. It took a while to win people over, but I think he's a little bit. I can't speak for all the Dundee supporters, but I think he's got a little bit of a cult following now as Dundee manager. And you're right, I mean, they've only lost 3 of their last 11. They've only won 2 of their last 8, right enough, but they've, you know, a few draws in there. And I mean, as I say, you know, if he's picking the same 11 4 games in a row, then that's clearly showing that they're going in the right direction. And I think everyone needs to remember the number of players that Dundee lost and Stephen Presley didn't have the opportunity to work with from last season. Mulligan, McGee, Tiffany, Shaughnessy, Silla, Cameron, Portales, all these guys who are working under Tony Docherty here, all departed in the summer. It was a real recreation of the Dundee side, and it's now they're beginning to show some signs of life. And as I said there, I think, Rich, I don't know what you think, but I think they're the best placed the sides in the bottom 6 right now. You know, form-wise, they look the most comfortable.
Yeah, scoring some really good goals as well. Got some players that have really caught the eye, particularly in the last few months. So going to be a fascinating one. Liam will be, of course, on commentary duty alongside Kevin Thompson and John Rankin. So we'll be getting to them. Won't have an awful lot of time between the games, given there was fair bit of first half stoppage time. There will inevitably be second half stoppage time in Paisley as well, but the bottom line is that Rangers won't mind any of that. They have the advantage right now, and you've got to say that it is a first half that Andy Halliday, they have almost entirely dominated, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, in terms of territory and control, without creating not a whole host of chances that can put St Mirren away. No, St Mirren have looked a little bit dangerous down this right hand side, with Kellen Phillips making the runs to put flashing balls into the box. But I think defensively, I think Rangers have looked really solid, really secure. But I think Rangers will want a lot more for the front players in the second half to try and extend their league and make it really difficult for St Mirren to work their way back into this game. But at this moment in time, there's no doubt whatsoever that the wind is playing a huge part. I think it has been a 45 minutes of football that's lacked real quality. But yeah, we can feel the wind here, Tom, so there's no doubt whatsoever it's playing a part on the pitch.
Yeah. So is it whistling across the pitch towards you guys, or is it benefiting either side in that first half?
I think it's swirling about, Richard. To be honest, it's hard to see which direction it's going in. The corner flags aren't, you know, sometimes can tell when you see the corner flags, but it's kind of swirly. But I mean, that and the rain and pitch is a wee bit bobbly. It's not conducive to attractive football, and it's not been attractive out there in that first half. St Mirren, for large parts for me, defended really quite well, and their shape was good and the energy's there, but they just can't get up the pitch as a unit. And Daniel Lindelöf, more often than not, kind of up there on his own and not able to kind of bring others into play. One or two minor flashes from St Mirren, but in terms of the game, Rangers have had all the control. But like Andy says, their forward players just don't seem to have that spark at the minute.
No, I mean, there were a couple of chances. Chermiti had the one big chance, didn't he, right in front of goal, and knocked it wide. There was the Gassama opportunity early on, laid in by Raskan, and it was as embarrassing a slice, I think, as you'll ever see from a player in that position. But there's not been loads of chances. But Romans, you both picked him out in terms of the contribution he's made since joining in January. He's popped up with a 1 goal so far and caught the eye again.
Yeah, he's a good player. You know, and what's really good about the goal from his point of view is it's the opposite side, and he's made the run as the left full-back to get in at the back post. I didn't get to see a replay of it, but I mean, for me, I think St Mirren have to have somebody in that area to kind of marshal him. It goes past everybody, and in the end it's a simple tap in for him at the back post. But out with that and the chances that you mentioned, with the control that Rangers have had when they get the ball into the final third, there has to be better situations for them. You know, you look back to last week in the Old Firm game. Do they have real match winners in this team, in this squad? It's what they need, and it's not showing itself at this minute in time. And at 1-0, anything's possible in conditions like this. If St Mirren get a corner or a free kick in a dangerous area, then, you know, anything's possible. They really need to, from Rangers' point of view, they really need to get the second goal, and that would put them at a wee bit of ease. But St Mirren still feel like they're very much in the game without having created much. At 1-0, you're in the game.
I guess
the thing that's surprising for me, sorry Richard, the thing that's surprising for me is, we're talking about the lack of conviction at the top end of the park for Rangers. Yousuf Shamiti's just off the back of winning February Player of the Month. You know, he's got a hat-trick against Hearts, he's got a double against Celtic a couple of weeks ago, but it still looks as if he lacks confidence in certain areas. You know, he looks almost unsure of himself when he's in and around the penalty area. We spoke about that when he works onto his left foot. The goal, I mean, it just opens up for him to have a shot. Then the one that falls for him, the edge of the 6-yard box, again looks unconvincing with his finish. I always feel it really surprising with Yousuf Shamiti that it just seems as if he lacks confidence, but at this moment in time he should be full of confidence given the last month he's had.
Yeah, and I guess particularly when you see that opportunity, I mean, the ball did come in through a ruck of players, but you would expect a top striker to be able to, at the very least, get it on targets. Got to have a word about Alex Gogic. You talk about players being warriors, and I mean, he's someone else. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen quite so much blood on a football pitch. And what does he do? He said, right, just wipe it off, slather some more cream on top of it, and get me back out there. It's incredible to have that desire, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, it was me and Tom will winced up here as soon as Gogic and Richardson had that clash of heads, and it didn't faze Alex Gogic whatsoever. He just walked to the side, he got staples in his head, he tried to patch himself up, and then you wonder, how quickly will he then be tested in that cut. I think he had 3 headers in the next 35 seconds as soon as he got straight on. He was up for a header. I mean, I don't think it bothered him whatsoever, and you've got to say, I think he's marshalled the Rangers front two pretty well so far. St Mirren will just be disappointed with obviously the goal they concede, given they're playing with that back five, they're playing with their 3 centre-halves, but take nothing away from the delivery for Nico Raskin. I thought it was a fantastic ball on his winger left side, just plays it in a real dangerous area, and like you said, it was 2 Romans that popped up at the back post that's made the difference in the first half.
Do you see St Mirren trying to change anything, or are they just at this stage, Stephen, just looking to stay in this game,
I'd
and
say
then
so.
Hope to get something?
Yeah, I think so, Richard. I mean, I mentioned before the game, on the bench they do have options. Obviously, Ayunga coming back is a big bonus for them. Idowu is a player who can be more creative in that kind of midfield to front areas. And Jake Young, who's been scoring goals and who's got pace. I'd imagine that Craig will have these guys on the pitch come about the hour mark. But as I said, at 1-0, they're still in the game. And if they don't concede and they can look to their bench and maybe bring on a more natural type. I mean, Killian Phillips has done reasonably well in terms of trying to offer support to Lindelöw, and quite often he's found himself out in this right-hand side with good movement, and but they really need more up there to ask more questions of Rangers. And the one thing that I felt St Mirren are good at and could exploit today would be set plays and things like that, but they've not really forced themselves up the pitch to get a number of corners or get long throws or free kicks in areas. So they need to just, as a unit, try and get up the pitch into Rangers' final third more in this second half.
Remember, still to come at the second of our Premiership matches this afternoon. It will be full live commentary from Dens Park, where Dundee and Dundee United go head-to-head. We've got the team news there from Liam, and we'll recap that and, of course, bring you all the action live from there with you until 5 o'clock. So plenty of time to reflect on the weekend's action. And then a little bit later, you can settle down and enjoy the sports scene highlights, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. Teams back out in Paisley. Let's hope the conditions are a little bit easier for them in the second half, which you will hear live with us here on Sports Sound with Andy Halliday, Stephen Thompson and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Yeah, I don't want to speak too soon, but it does feel like the wind has maybe just gone down a wee bit, which would be most welcome, certainly in the commentary position, and I'm sure the players would welcome more benign conditions as well. So let's see if that continues. Certainly looking a wee bit brighter, but yeah, I mean, it definitely affected the first half play, and it might be a bit of a better spectacle second half if the wind did dissipate somewhat, as both teams are now back out. No further changes that I can see. Alex Gogic has been patched up further and will take his place in the middle of that back three for St Mirren once more, as Rangers prepare to get us back underway, leading by a goal to nil at the start of this second half. Two Romans with the goal that separates the sides, and Nico Raskan now, who's the provider of the goal, gets us back underway, rolling it all the way back to Jack Butland, as he tends to do with the Rangers kick-off. Butland launches it long right into the St Mirren penalty area, and it's grabbed by his opposite number, Shamal George, who just rolls it out to Gogic. Gogic then into the midfield. Raskan, though, there ahead of Phillips, robs him and tries to play it forward. Just lost his footing there as he tried to play it, and St Mirren pick up on the right hand side through Donnelly, but it's a poor pass from him. Chermiti tries the little flick, comes back to Chermiti, tried to play it to Naderi again, and that didn't get through, and Devani knocks it away, and now King will play it down the right hand side looking for Lundeloo. It's come off a Rangers player and out for a St Mirren throw-in over on the far side. St Mirren right.
Again, though, for me, Chermiti trying a wee flick when just take the ball in twice there. Link-up play, I mean, at times I've watched him and his link-up play has been decent, but on a lot of occasions I've watched him as well, and he's just slack. There's another one.
Yeah, he's taken out, though, after the fact by Gogic, who helps him back to his feet, and it will be a Rangers free kick. About 20 yards inside. That was rolling, yeah. Stephen McLean spotted that as well, and it'll be taken again by Nico Raskan out to the left-hand side for Chukwani. Chukwani back the way to Raskan. Raskan midway inside the St Mirren half, back to Chukwani on the left-hand side. Incidentally, Richard Gordon kindly texted me during that first half, although I didn't notice it till half-time, to say Morten Vikhorst is the Denmark assistant manager, so might be here to have a look at the likes of Chukwani and perhaps Scott Olsen should he get on the field of play, but he'll have to buck up his ideas in a Rangers jersey if he wants to be playing in a Denmark jersey again. It hadn't been a great season for him at Wolfsburg either, so St Mirren have won it back in the middle of the park. Campbell battling away, so to O'Hara, but Chukwani picks up possession. Here's Gassama, another player who has to improve, but he's lost it to Tanzer, and Tanzer now comes forward up towards the edge of the Rangers area. Across comes Fernandes, far too slack from Fernandes. He almost lost out there to Lundeloo. So lackadaisical there on the edge of the box, Andy. I mean, I can see you kind of wincing there as he almost lost possession there to Lundeloo, and that could have been so costly.
I genuinely don't know what he was trying. It wasn't as if he tried to play a pass into a teammate. He certainly didn't try to clear the danger. I mean, he just almost took as if he took a loose St Mirren playing on.
Yeah, St Mirren have taken the throw in here, and Devani, though, has been penalised for a challenge here.
Well, Nico Raskin's not happy because Nico Raskin put the ball out of field of play because Mikey Moore was down. I don't know if St Mirren knew that's why he put it out of play, but St Mirren tried to go on the attack, and eventually Rangers are fouled and the free kick's given.
Yeah, I don't think Tanzer it was that took the quick throw in. I don't think he realised that that's what had happened.
Marcus Fraser, one of the injured players, making his way down the concourse back to his seat here. A broken collarbone for the St Mirren stalwart. That's going to keep him out for the rest of the season by the sounds of it, as Gogic tidies up at the back once more, and then Freckleton plays it into O'Hara, and a switch of play out to the right hand side to King. That's better from St Mirren, advancing over the halfway line. Cross goes Romans to meet him. King just brushes past him. Here he is, checking back onto the right foot. Romans blocks the attempted cross, then gets it headed clear as far as Moore, and then Raskan for Romans once more, charging over the halfway line now as Rangers try and come forward, tries to play it into the middle for Naderi, but it's blocked by Devaney and back into the path of the goalkeeper.
Excellent work from young Devaney there, covering over to the left-hand side and tracking the run of Romans and getting a vital stop in or interception.
Freckleton's long diagonal cut out by Chukwani, almost given away, but Rangers pick it up and play it back to Butland, and now it's Tavernier. 4.5 played in the second period. Definitely a little bit calmer wind-wise as Gassama plays a good ball here for Naderi. Cross comes Gogic, makes a good challenge, wants to throw it as well, but he's not going to get that. But almost opened up there for Rangers after a good ball from Gassama, but Naderi couldn't quite get there ahead of Gogic, and they have the throw in instead, and now it's Raskan. What do you make of this position that Raskan's playing in, Andy? I mentioned it a couple of times first half.
Yeah, I mean, for me that is kind of Nico Raskin all over. You know, you hear this debate all the time. Is he a number 6? Is he a number 8? Sometimes he looks as if he's not got a whole lot of discipline for me to play that holding midfield role, and he's only playing the midfield 2 with Chukwani, and like you quite rightly pointed out on a number of occasions, he's found himself out in the right wing, he's found himself on the touchline, he's found himself breaking into the box, which is fine in possession, but when the ball breaks down you can see there's a huge gaping hole in the middle of the pitch for Rangers to try and rectify the situation, but St Mirren have not managed to punish it so far.
50 played, 1-0 Rangers as Chukwani finds Tavernier. Big switch of play looking for Moore, just too much on it, although applauded for the intent by his manager Danny Rule, who's out in the touchline as Gogic plays it back to George just inside his own 6-yard box. First time ball up towards the halfway line, won by Fernandez above Phillips. Gassama with another poor touch. He's got to be close to coming off in this game. Here he is once more. Can he do better this time? Panzer plays it forward, gets there ahead of him. Gassama perhaps left a little bit on him, but play continues anyway. Campbell though can't make anything of it. Fernandez turns it back to Butland, who plays it first time over the halfway line. Freckleton nods it down, but only into the path of Naderi. Naderi now for Gassama, right hand side, trying to get away from Devaney. He's having his shot pulled, asking for the free kick, but he gets it into Raskan anyway, edge of the box. Raskan gets away from Campbell, tucks it back into the penalty area. Gogic as usual is there. O'Hara with a lovely little touch, lay off for Devaney. Now Devaney into the feet of Lindeloo, tries to step away from Fernandez, back now with Tanzer, who'll play it all the way back to his goalkeeper. 52 on the clock, 1-0 Rangers. They're by no means home and dry yet in terms of the result in this one. They'll need at least one more goal before their fans will begin to feel comfortable, I'd imagine. As Gogic picks up 20 yards inside his own half, fires out to the left-hand side. Tanzer nods it down, looking for Lindeloo. Gets there ahead of Fernandez. Fernandez recovers just about. It's back with Tanzer into O'Hara, midway inside Rangers half, left-hand side. Back to Freckleton. St Mirren certainly not giving this up yet. They need the points as much as Rangers, as Lindeloo has it, with his back to go into O'Hara. O'Hara picks out a good ball for Campbell, angle of the box, left hand side now is Tanzer. Tanzer swings it in near post. Fernandez header down to Campbell, comes back almost to Lindeloo, swept away by Nasser Giga, but the St Mirren fans sense that the momentum might be shifting slightly in this game. They've certainly had a better start to the second half, but that's a slack ball by Gogic, picked up by Naderi. He goes flying, but no foul, just a throw in over on the far side. 53 in, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Chukwani now finds Raskan just inside his own half. Tavernier makes a run down the right hand side. A bit of space now for Gassama instead in the inside channel. He tries to go for goal, it comes off Freckleton. It'll be a corner kick for Rangers, left hand side. As Gassama looked to try and test Jamal George there, and Freckleton got in the way.
Game certainly feels a wee bit more open than it did in the first half.
Yeah, 100%.
The game sort of flown both ways in the opening 8 minutes. St Mirren have been on the attack, then the ball breaks over, and then Rangers go. I'll be absolutely amazed, I must say, that the Rangers' first substitution doesn't involve the number 23 for Rangers, Jedi Gassama, at this moment in time. He just can't do anything right. You know, he's fallen over the ball, he's given the ball back to St Mirren on numerous occasions. It's been a really difficult opening 55 minutes for him.
Tavernier from the left-hand side, preparing to take this corner kick. Again, Mikey Moore is an option. The wind's less of a factor. It's a short corner to Moore. Lays it to Tavernier once more. Swings it in. Back post is dangerous. It's Raskin. He gets a header. Is it poked in? No, it's off the line. Freckleton gets in the way. Raskin seemed to hit it back across goal. It ricocheted as down goes Gassama under the challenge of Gogic. I think the referee's given the free kick. He's just been told to wait until there's a check here. I think it's Chukwani who's taken a little bit of a knock down below his on his near side. But that's another big chance that Rangers have passed up there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the delivery in from Tavernier after the short corner was sensational. And Raskin, I think he just gets his header all wrong. I don't think he's trying to header it back across the goal.
No.
He really should be getting that on target. And then they nearly kind of broke and spun goalwards, but St Mirren managed to hook it clear. But Rangers have a free kick now. Tavernier in a dangerous position.
Yeah, high line St Mirren have. Tavernier from the right-hand side swings it in. Raskin attacks it. It's only just wide of the left-hand post to Shamal George. You get good power on it from about 12 yards out. Swung in from Tavernier. Raskin got the head to it that time, but wide of target, and remains St Mirren 0. Rangers 1 after 55 minutes.
Well, I just mentioned how high St Mirren's line was. And
it was.
They left a huge area for James Tavernier just to fuel the ball into, and you've got to say it is a decent header for Nico Raskin. Gets plenty of power on it, but not the direction to plant it into the bottom corner. But another good opportunity for Rangers.
Lindeloo wins the free kick, just about 10 yards inside the Rangers half after the foul by Raskin. Fairly central areas. They just play it short back the way to Gogic in the halfway line. It's Freckleton now back to Gogic, closed down by Chermiti, out to the right hand side for Donnelly, playing as an auxiliary centre half after the injury to Jayden Richardson. Forced a bit of a reshuffle from St Mirren in the first half. No changes since then, but conversation going on between the St Mirren coaches down there. Interim manager Craig McLeish and Jamie Langfield taking charge. It's out for a throw-in over on the far side to St Mirren. Midway inside the Rangers half, 56 and a half on the clock. 1-0 they trail. Looks like Sk Olsen's getting stripped for Rangers, and I think Andy's prophecy is about to come true. As I think Liam Donnelly is about to try and hurl a long throw-in into the Rangers box. Sk Olsen preparing to come on, but he won't come on before this throw-in's taken, as Donnelly does get it into the Rangers area. It's Romans who gets the head to it, but it's not clear. Rangers trying to force it clear as St Mirren try to force it home, and in the end it's the visitors who get away out of the penalty area. George comes well out of his box though to pick possession back up and play it to Freckleton. Freckleton forward, Tavernier in the way. It's Gassama now, midway inside his own half. Looks like he's about to be replaced as Raskin plays it forward here for Naderi. Slips it through into the channel, and a brilliant challenge by Alex Gogic. Looked like Chermiti had got away from Gogic, but he stuck out a long right leg round the Rangers striker and knocked it back to his goalkeeper. Brilliant defending from Gogic.
Yeah, you see him do it so often. He's never out of a challenge, that's for sure. And he had to time that perfectly. Let's see who the sub's going to be. Yeah, Andy's called it.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to be a genius, with no disrespect to Andy's footballing nous, but Jayden Gassama trooping off, looking pretty disheartened, you would have to say. I think he knows that things are not quite happening for him as a Rangers player just at the moment. Having started the season so well, it really has gone a little bit downhill. I definitely feel like he doesn't suit playing on that right flank as much as he did on the left-hand side, coming in off the left onto the right foot. But Sk Olsen on now then to try and impress his national assistant manager Morten Vikhorst, the former Celtic man. as Raskan has it, clips it out to the left-hand side for Romans. Romans, the man whose goal still separates the sides, slips it forward for Chukwani into the box early. Mikey Moore gets the touch. Gogic trying to stick with him. Moore finds Tavernier at the edge of the area. Goes for Gogic, saves Jamal George to tip it round the post. That needed saving, and Jamal George was there to deny James Tavernier. Got good connection from the edge of the penalty area, but George turns it round for a corner.
It's a well-worked move for Rangers. Nico Raskin with a switch of play over the left-hand side for two Romans. This time it's Chukwani that makes that run down that left touchline, works into Mikey Moore, gets to James Tavernier. I thought for all the world he was going to slip Skov Olsen into the right-hand side of the box, but he has a curling effort at the near post, and you've got to say it's a decent save for Jamal George.
Short corner taken right-hand side, back to Romans it comes. He swings it into the back post. The Rangers head gets to it, but it's straight into the arms. It was Naderi who got there, but straight into the gloves of Jamal George, and after almost an hour it's still just a goal that separates the sides. It's 1-0 Rangers as St Mirren try and come forward down that right-hand side. It's King doing well. He's got through a couple of challenges. Now the ball comes into the box. He's going to break for O'Hara at the edge, and he can't get the shot past Giga, I think it was. He got the block in there. O'Hara might feel he should have done better.
Should have done now. I mean, it's a big chance. Ball breaks him 18 yards out, and he goes to side foot it with his right foot. Wasn't confident enough to take it in his left. It was set up to just drill in his left foot, and he tries to shape it with his right. Gets no power on it. St Mirren's best opportunity of the match, really, for me.
Yeah, it looked like a good opening for Mark O'Hara, who's had joy against Rangers in the past in goal scoring terms, but not on that occasion. An hour in, 1-0 Rangers. Game still far from decided though, as Tavernier prepares to take a throw on right hand side into the feet of Naderi, who's tussling away there with Gogic. Tries a little back heel, it doesn't come off, and St Mirren pick up. Tanzer's giving it straight to Tavernier, who's just about kept it in play right hand side. He wants an angle, he wants an option, he has to go all the way back, and he's telling Nasser Giga, look, I needed you to make a better angle for me there for the pass. Giga disputes that, and it's back with Butland in any case. Back out with Tavernier on the right hand side. Skov Olsen now. It's a first touch on the right hand side. Naderi tries to slip it forward. Raskan's done really well to get away from Freckleton and almost gets it through for Chermiti. Chermiti does pick up, into the box he goes. Donnelly makes the challenge and then knocks it behind. It'll be another Rangers corner.
It's excellent for Nico Raskin. No, it's not a great ball he has to deal with, but he does well to just flick it round. I think it's Donnelly on this left hand side, plays it into Chermiti, and he tries to work down the right edge of the box, and Donnelly does ever so well to come back and rush it out for a corner. You've got to say Rangers have had so many opportunities for set pieces. They're working the short corner well, but they have to make this pressure count. Well, it's only 1-0.
Yeah, you don't really feel that they are certain to be able to see out a 1-0 victory, as Romans plays this corner in directly to the back post. It's won by Fernandez. Giga on the spin, and then Tavernier from 35 yards gets that one all wrong. We've seen him fire them into the top corner before. That one hit the top corner of the stand almost, and it remains St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 after 62 minutes at the Smythe Stadium.
Yeah, it was so floaty, the corner that came in. It's difficult for Fernandez to get any purchase on it. St Mirren going to make a wee change, Alistair?
Yeah, Jake Young is going to come on.
Is it for Richard King?
That's an interesting switch, that one. King had done all right, I thought, since going out to right wing back, so how are they going to reshuffle this time?
It's a very good question.
I don't know if Liam Donnelly's about to play his third position of the game, or if it's potentially maybe Mark O'Hara that's going over at that right hand side.
I think they might have gone to a forward, you know that, with Donnelly right back.
Yeah, I think they're right.
Yeah, and O'Hara right midfield and two up top. It's a bit of a gamble because it's a lot of players playing in slightly unfamiliar positions, but
fair play, I like it. I mean, St Mirren need to get something from the game, so
yeah, Devani's done well to slip away from Raskan. He plays it forward for Young just on the park, trying to make something here up against Giga. It's been forced away from goal, but he's slipped it back to Tanzer. Early ball in, Lindeloo helps it, well, actually out of the area. Raskan helps it further out. Chermiti back to Raskan, who plays a good ball forward now for Naderi, but again Gogic on the cover, gets there ahead of the German, and then has enough composure to just guide it back to his goalkeeper. Such an important player for St Mirren is Alex Gogic, and really underrated, I think, as well. I mean, I think, you know, he's played at Hibs as well, but he's a player who, when he's not in the team, you really notice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen Robinson, now he's at Aberdeen, looked to bring him there.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Tanzer now. It'd be a big loss for St Mirren if he were to go. Tanzer with a good ball forward for Young into the penalty. It just takes a heavy touch, and it allows Butland to come off his line and grab it as Richard King makes his way all the way around the pitch and off. Sk Olsen, poor ball from him again. It's read well by Gogic. He's pulled back by Raskan. Play continues as Campbell tries to slip it to his right to O'Hara, but that's blocked off, and now Rangers can try and counter. Chermiti with a good little slip past Donnelly. Still it's Chermiti. A couple of St Mirren players trying to take the ball off him. Eventually Freckleton gets the challenge in and knocks it out for a throw in this near side. 64.5 played. Still St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Still all to play for.
Having Jake Young on gives St Mirren the option of turning it in behind, and better didn't really come off there for them. Jake Young, when the ball went over the top, just took a heavy touch on his knee, or else he'd have been getting a shot away.
Rangers throwing right hand side, Tavernier into Sk Olsen and back to the captain, plays it off Tanzer, and it'll be another Rangers throw on this right hand side. Just about 10 yards from the corner flag now, as Rangers look for a second goal, which might be enough to clinch the points. Tavernier for Raskan, right hand side now. Sk Olsen just outside the penalty area for Tavernier once more, and now Sk Olsen, can he stand across up? He cuts it back to the edge of the 6-yard box. Chermiti, and then Sk Olsen. He just seemed to let that bounce off his foot and just go behind for a goal kick.
I mean, it's almost hard to even explain what just happened there. The ball gets played back out to Sk Olsen. I must admit, it did look as if it was off a Rangers player, and it could potentially be offside, but maybe he tries to take a touch out his feet, and he's on the touchline, so it ends up just rolling it out for a goal kick to St Mirren. 65 played, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. It's a imperious lead, albeit St Mirren haven't forced a save from Jack Butland as yet, but they only need one chance. Perhaps it could cost Rangers dearly if they're not able to put this game to bed, and it's something that's happened so often this season when they've failed to put teams to the sword, having dominated. Here's Donnelly now playing it seemingly at right back. Young tries to dummy it away from Fernandez. Out for a St Mirren throw and over on the far side, more or less on a halfway line, taken by O'Hara into Devani. Chermiti comes back but only succeeds in playing it back to O'Hara, who's challenged now by Romans. Another St Mirren throw in. It's not through, you know, periods of pressure, but you just feel a wee momentum shift within the stadium. You know, St Mirren have had a couple of counter-attacks, and they're starting to win some loose balls. You can see the atmosphere starting to build in a St Mirren point of view, and as they get this foul in a dangerous area.
Yeah, it's Romans who's dragged Alan Campbell to the ground, and it will be a free kick to St Mirren midway inside the Rangers half, right hand side. Looks like it's probably about 10 yards in from the touchline over on that far side, and it is an opportunity for St Mirren to throw the centre backs forwards. You've got Killian Phillips, Stan Lundeloo as well, who can all pose a threat in the air as Mark O'Hara stands over the free kick. What it needs now is a good delivery. Let's see from the St Mirren captain. It's a low delivery, it's easily defended by Raskan. O'Hara's capable of so much better, and Campbell's turned it all the way back to Shawal George from midway inside his own half. He launches it forward again. Freckleton's still up there, but Tavernier wins it, goes and chases the second ball, but helped back forward by Devani for Tanzer, and across comes Raskan. It's come off the corner flag, fortunately for him, and stayed in play, and Raskan tries to burrow his way forward. Challenged by Tanzer, out of play here. Raskan stayed down. It will be just a throw-in. It wasn't a foul, but Raskan has taken a little knock there, so too has Tanzer actually, after the ball was played. Midway inside the second half then, still just a goal in it. St Mirren their victory here against Partick Thistle last Sunday night was their first win in 6. Losing 4 in that period. It hasn't been a good run of form for them at all. And just 5 Premiership wins all season. That's why they find themselves down in trouble at the bottom of the table as the season comes to a climax. Donnelly fires it forward. Raskan still doesn't look entirely comfortable after that challenge as Phillips picks up. Lovely little flick out to his left to Lundaloo. Infield now for Devani. Devani takes a touch. Chirkwani closes him down. He gets the pass off. Chermiti comes back. No free kick, but St Mirren pick up possession. It's O'Hara just outside the box. Tries to help it forward. Campbell will try and force it back across goal. And Romans did well. He managed to play it back off Campbell in the challenge. And it will just be a Rangers goal kick. Just over 20 minutes to play. St Mirren 0. Rangers 1. I think Rangers thinking about another change.
You can tell St Mirren are starting to believe that they can get something from this game. They're getting forward in numbers more. Obviously they've made the slight tactical change as well.
Derry slips that past Freckleton and continues the chase. Devani's trying to get back at him, and it's a good challenge from the young man on loan from Manchester United. Not only has he made the challenge in the Derry, he's played it off him, and it's a St Mirren throw-in taken by Freckleton for Gogic. Freckleton gets it back and plays it down the left for Tanzer. Back with Freckleton, clips it up to the halfway line now. Fernandez has got his both arms round Lundaloo there. No free kick given, but St Mirren are picked up again. Phillips slips it out to the right hand side. This is a chance for St Mirren as O'Hara has it. O'Hara now looks to the back post. He's overhit it. Young will have to chase it. He won't catch it. Well, Mark O'Hara had a real opportunity there to pose Rangers a massive problem, and he couldn't execute the passes.
It's the wrong decision. He's got Lundaloo had made a run for him because he slipped Lundaloo and he goes for the back post to Jake Young and just overhits it. It's a real opportunity for St Mirren.
It's Yusuf Chermiti is going to be replaced here by Telo Asgar, and Connor Barron is also going to make his comeback from injury. It's an interesting switch this from Rangers. It's obviously going to be a slight change of shape, you'd imagine, with Asgar kind of playing off.
What it shows me is that the manager is not having Bojan Vaitovsky at all, is he?
No, it certainly doesn't look that way. You know, you see last week when Rangers are desperate for a goal against Celtic in the Scottish Cup, it remains on the bench, and then obviously you're expecting a like for like, but it seems like Telo Asgard is just going to be playing off Ryan Nadiri as that lone striker. I must say, I'm surprised that Chukwan's the one that's been sacrificed in the middle of the pitch. Connor Barron I thought was on really good form before he got his injury, so take nothing away for the substitution, but I thought Chukwan's played well.
Well, Killian Phillips has been penalised by Steve McLean here, even though he was caught by Raskan, but I think it's because Phillips went in with a high boot. He's absolutely furious. Steve McLean wants a word with him. The St Mirren fans don't like it either.
No, I don't think it was a foul, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, his leg's high, but his foot is not. His foot is kind of down the way, as he's trying to say to Stevie just now.
I must admit, Tom, I didn't think it was a foul either, but for a scream to getting up and complaining within a second for Killian Phillips.
Yeah.
Rangers take the free kick. We've got 18 to play of the 90. It's still just a goal in it. It's in Rangers' favour. 2 Romans after just over half an hour. But, they've been unable to put the game beyond St Mirren, and St Mirren beginning to look a little bit more likely as Asgar. It's his first Rangers appearance in a while. He's been kept on the bench for the most part of late. As Giga plays it to Fernandez. Fernandez into Barron. Barron forward for Asgar. Asgar slips out to the right hand side for Olsen. Better play from Rangers. Can he pick a pass here? Olsen. He comes in off that right hand side. Waits for Romans to join in. And he comes forward now and onto the left hand side to Moore. Slides it forward again looking for Romans, but it wasn't a good pass. And it allowed Gogic to come across and cut it out. Now Gogic clips it up to the halfway line. Barron gets in there with a header though, and Giga will pick up possession. Back with Connor Barron in that midfield area now instead of Chukwani. Out to Tavernier. Tavernier gets it back from Scholes. Barron once more under pressure from Lundaloo, and he turns it back to his goalkeeper, Jack Butland. Butland back to Barron, who's in the right back area just now, plays it down that right hand side. Moore tries to help it on. Hands are picked up momentarily. Rangers have it back again. Olsen for Mikey Moore, back heel for Naderi, tries to slip it through now. Osgar could be in. Shamal George off his line, does well, smothers it at the feet of Osgar and prevents the Rangers player getting the shot in. 74 played. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Next goal is absolutely massive. And St Mirren have it at the back. It's Alex Gogic. Plays it to Freckleton, closed down by Naderi, gets it forward to Devani, and over to the right hand side for Donnelly into Gogic. Slips it there for Devani. It's good play from Devani. Took a ball that wasn't ideal from Gogic, but he managed to get the ball to Tanzer.
I think he's played really well, Alistair Devani, in the middle of the pitch for St Mirren.
Yeah, he's got something about him, hasn't he? He's just 18, but already showing why he's on the books of Manchester United and doing a job here for St Mirren, as the St Mirren fans claim for a foul by Fernandes on Young, but Stephen McLean not interested. Rangers have it midway inside their own half. The nerves, I would imagine, will begin to jangle among the supporters at the very least, as they look to hold on to the 1-goal advantage. Moore trying to get beyond O'Hara, but failing to do so, and St Mirren have it back. Gogic midway inside his own half for Donnelly into the middle of the park for Devani, and now Freckleton picks out a good pass for Phillips, still just inside the St Mirren half, out to Tanzer now left hand side. Danny Rule making all sorts of gestures here in the touchline as his team are in danger perhaps of letting a lead slip again, but they picked up possession there, but Phillips has won it back. A good sliding challenge on Moore, and it's O'Hara into Phillips midway inside the Rangers half, clips it into the area, it's over Lundaloo, and Jack Butland will collect that one before any further danger ensues. And now it's out to Tavernier, into Asgard, back with Tavernier, into a cluster of St Mirren players, plays it back to Giga square for Raskan bringing it up towards the halfway line, out to Mikey Moore, he clips it on here for Romans, who's furthest advanced, takes a poor touch, and Gogic again steps across him, needs to try and avoid the points, run it out for a corner there. Just dwelling on the ball too much there, Alex Gogic, and it will be a Rangers corner. 76 played, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't come back to bite him, because he could have cleared it twice. He could have gone back to Shamal George as well. Tries to be a wee bit too clever. St Mirren bringing a Young on, he'll get a good reception.
It's another very attacking change, and it's another one that's going to require something of a reshuffle, you'd imagine. The left back being replaced by a striker. Well, I guess they can go for it here, and nothing really to lose. The position they find themselves in. What they can't afford to do, though, is lose a second goal here from this corner kick from the left hand side. Ayunga's first job is to go back into his own 6-yard box and try and help defend this corner. Rangers have put a few directly in, a few short. This one comes straight in from Tavernier. It's headed away. It is Ayunga that gets his head to it. In fact, there's an infringement in there anyway, and it's going to be a St Mirren free kick. I'm not sure exactly what went on, but the referee spotted something, and he's given the free kick to St Mirren as Rangers. I think they're calling back Bojan Majowski and maybe also Jaden Magoma. So maybe Majowski is going to get a run out for the final part of the game.
St Mirren's team now, it's hilarious. Mark O'Hara's going to right back, Freckleton's left back, and you've got Donnelly at centre half. Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty attacking. They've got Young, Lundaloo and Ayunga on the field now. Effectively it was a 4-3-3 now, as they look to try and salvage a point from this game. You wouldn't put it past them. They haven't forced Jack Butland into a save yet, but can they trouble him in the closing 12 minutes here? They're in possession to Devani inside the Rangers half, and it's out to the left hand side. Young couldn't bring it under control, and then neither could Freckleton, and he's upset with himself for knocking the ball out of play, but you can hear the home fans getting behind their side. They feel there might yet be something in this game for them. Barron plays it back to Butland, more or less in his own goal line. He's closed down by Lindelöf, gets the pass off to Romans just in time, but Rangers taking chances when really the ball just needs to get played forward as Osgaard loses out in the middle of the park, but Barron picks up and gets it out to Raskan. Raskan forwards, Moore can't collect it though, it's going to be Shamal George. Rangers just haven't put any sequence of passes together in this second half, Andy, and they haven't really bothered Shamal George either in the St Mirren goal.
No, they haven't. We spoke about the opening sort of 55 minutes of the game, Rangers having loads of control but not really being able to translate that into chances. I think they've lost all control over the last 15 minutes. I think St Mirren are in the ascendancy, but it's now St Mirren's opportunity to try and translate that into chances, because at this moment in time they're not working Jack Butland, even though you do feel the momentum shifting in this game.
Lindelöf out to the left hand side for Freckleton. Freckleton forward for Young, well challenged there by Tavernier. Naderi will go and try and make something of this. Good challenge as well by Gogic as Magoma prepares to come on here. You can imagine, is it going to be for Romans, which again you talked about Chukwani being replaced. I'd be surprised if we wanted to replace Romans, but it is the number 25 of two Romans that's held up, the man whose goal still is the difference between the two sides here. And also coming on is Bojan Majowski, and he's going to replace Ryan Naderi for the closing 10 minutes or so of the game.
Yeah, Andy spoke about Naderi before the game, and I have to say I'm not seeing an awful lot from him in terms of what he's offering Rangers at this moment in time.
No, I mean, plenty of endeavour, but beyond that, no immediate sign of what the long pursuit and the big money was paid for, as Barron plays it forward when it's going to go out for a throw-in just down at the corner flag for St Mirren, their own corner flag in the left back position. 10 to play, Rangers leading by a goal to nil. Bojan Majowski making the point that the throw-in's right back at the corner flag. Miguel Freckleton acknowledging that without actually going back to the corner flag. As St Mirren need to find a goal from somewhere in these closing stages. Freckleton gets the ball forward, up goes Ayunga, flicks it inside. Barron, looked like it was a little nudge there. Yeah, the referee gives that St Mirren's way on Phillips, and St Mirren get the free kick about 20 yards inside their own half. 9 left plus any stoppage time, and as Shamal George comes all the way out of his goal to take this free kick and waves his teammates forwards in search of an equaliser. Rangers have thrown away points in various different ways on their travels recently, at Hibs, at Motherwell and at Livingston, as the ball was an effort from the edge of the box there from Killian Phillips. It was barely worth the name though, well off target, and again Jack Butland not forced to work for his money there. 8 minutes left, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Could be a valuable 3 points for Rangers to take them right back into that title fight with Celtic and Hearts. So it would put them a point behind Celtic, 3 behind Hearts, with 8 games to play. As Giga clips up forwards, Osgaard tries to go for it, doesn't get there. St Mirren pick up Devani into Donnelly and back to his goalkeeper. George, first time, tries to hit it over the halfway line, flicked on by Ayunga. Young will get there before Tavernier. He plays it forward. Giga's favourite to get there again, just plays it out of play for a throw on this near side, doesn't even try and get it up the right flank. Throw-in's taken to Phillips, into Freckleton, who gets it back from Devani, and now it's Gogic. Just over 7 left on the clock, plus stoppage time, as Freckleton finds Devani in the middle of the park. He clips that one, looking for Lindelöf. Out comes Butland. It's a good take under pressure, right in the penalty spot. Lindelöf looking to try and get onto it. Ayunga wants the game stopped as Lindelöf's still down, and he's looks in a bit of distress there. Possibly caught by Butland, who came to take the cross. And on comes the physio to check on him.
Oh, do you know what? I actually think this is a decent stoppage for Rangers, because at this moment in time they just can't string any passes together whatsoever.
No, they've been so disjointed this second half. Really, really poor Rangers. And St Mirren have been better in the second half, but they've not managed to just get that final piece of the jigsaw on the top end of the pitch. But it's not been a good Rangers performance.
No, and you could say that about a number of their displays of late, but importantly, if they can get the victory, then that would be the crucial thing, taking them into the run-in, as there is a bit of concern here for Lindaloo. Not entirely sure what happened. I've just seen a rerun from a distance there. I can't see exactly what the injury might be to Lindaloo. He is back on his feet after a bit of treatment there. So still 1-0 Rangers, 2 Romans with a goal on 31 minutes. Could be an extremely precious one if it proves to be the winner. Lindaloo will just have to make his way off the field of play momentarily as the game has restarted here. Dropped at the feet of Manny Fernandez, who plays it to the left-hand side to Magoma. Forward for Mikey Moore, who goes back the way to Fernandez. He'll be chased down by Phillips. Back to Jack Butland it goes. Phillips continues to press. Butland clips it out to the right-hand side. It's a good ball to Skol-Olsen, who plays it infield to Asgar now. Asgar coming forward. Infield it goes to Barron. Barron out to the left-hand side to Moore. Can Rangers find the killer second goal? It's Mikey Moore who goes for goal. Jamal George grabs that as he fell to his left-hand side. Thought he might just have released it slightly, but holds on to it in the end. 5 minutes to play, still St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
He did well to hold on to it, because it's one of those awkward ones that bounces right in front of him.
Ayunga with the header on, cleared by Fernandez up towards Majowski, but he's beaten to it by Donnelly. Barron gets it into Skol-Olsen. Skol-Olsen gets a good toe in. I think Mikey Moore's just offside, but he'll continue now. Mikey Moore takes a heavy touch, and out comes Jamal George. The flag goes up. It will be offside against Mikey Moore again. And 4.5 to play. It's still St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Looked tight, that one.
It did look tight, so it would have been interesting if that resulted into what should have certainly have been a better Rangers opportunity. Mikey Moore just takes a heavy touch and allows Jamal George to come and just knock it round the post, but for all the world, though, it was as if it was a 1v1 with the goalkeeper.
Long it goes from St Mirren. It's Jake Young, takes a good first touch, gets the shot away, but he's dragged it all the way across goal. It's a really good first touch from Jake Young, but the left-footed effort again doesn't trouble Jack Butland in the Rangers goal. But Rangers have put themselves in a position where they are susceptible to such moments of angst.
Yeah, they were sleeping. I mean, Jamal George takes a long punt up the pitch, and Tavernier gets caught. Jake Young runs off the back of him, takes, as you said, a brilliant first touch. Then he's on his left foot at a slight angle, and he drags it wide of Jack Butland's left-hand post. It was a really good opportunity for St Mirren. He should be hitting the target there.
That's a massive opportunity at this stage of the game. It's the best opportunity of the game, and it just comes from a long ball. Rangers just sleeping. Gets into the left-hand side of the box, and you fancy him to at least hit the target, but doesn't manage to do so. It's a let-off for Rangers. Back with Butland from Tavernier. Jake Young goes to close him down. Butland clears it up towards the halfway line. 3 minutes remaining plus stoppage time. Flicked on by Ayunga. Little bit of a push in the back from Magoma, goes unpunished as it's played forward to Moore. He stopped in his tracks at the expense of a throw-in over on the far side. Danny Rule pacing his technical area somewhat nervously. No wonder, as Rangers fans desperately hoping that their side can hold on for all 3 points here and continue in the title race. I think Majowski penalised there for a little shove on Gogic. Here is Gogic just outside his own penalty area. George picks up possession just at the edge of his own box and then fires it long on the right hand side, looking for Ayunga, but Fernandez meets it, beats him in the air.
Freckleton picks up possession, but he's done well to eventually force it forward under pressure from Majowski. Tavernier turns it forward to Sk Olsen, midway inside his own half. Raskan now to Asgard on the halfway line, spins one way then the other, holds on to possession. Good cool play from the Norwegian international. Now it's Barron out to the left hand side to Magoma, a couple of minutes left. It's Mikey Moore takes his eye off the ball and it rolls under his boot and out for a throw on the far side, and that's not what Rangers need just at the moment, as O'Hara takes the throw in quickly. Can St Mirren find an equaliser? They could really do with the 3 points, but they absolutely take one right now if they could find that leveller, as Donnelly has it 10 yards inside his own half. O'Hara now down that right hand side looking for a Ayunga. Magoma makes the challenge and it's out for a throw in to St Mirren. The fourth official will very shortly indicate how long is to be added on. I don't think it'll be just as much as there was in the first half, but time probably against St Mirren here. A minute left of the 90 as Gogic angles the pass forward for Ayunga. He's given time to play it out to his right to O'Hara, tries to smuggle it back in field. Barron was there though, and he's done really well, Connor Barron, but he's then lost it to Devani on the halfway line.
Really good, so good that net.
Gogic plays it off Moore, out for a throw and over on the far side. Certainly it hasn't been the most easy game on the eye, partly because the conditions in the first half. They've definitely eased off second half, but you couldn't say that either team has played particularly beautiful football, but Rangers will take it if it means 3 points. They've won the ball back in the halfway line. It's good work from the evergreen Tavernier. Now it's Sk Olsen, back to Giga. Giga plays it to Raskan, who's just sitting in the right back position at the moment. Plays it forward to Asgard. Tavernier flicks it on, Devani, but Raskan will get there and he's forced it to Majowski. Chance here for Mikey Moore to finish it. Across goal must be! Tello Asgard is flagged offside. I'm not sure about that. Asgard knocks it into the net. That will be checked. That could be the goal that wins it for Rangers as we into injury time. I didn't see the board there. Very interesting check this one, Andy Halliday.
Yeah, well, there's two possible occasions where it could be offside. I think the first one would be Mikey Moore when Majowski slipped him in. I must admit, I don't think Tello Asgard is for the cut back. Obviously VAR will have a look at it, but certainly looked tight on both occasions. It'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. If it is Tello Asgard that's offside, it'll be disappointing because you can't be offside in that position. And Mikey Moore's obviously got a shot at goal for the
both looked so tight.
They certainly look tight. I think this will obviously be checked just now, and we'll see how this one goes. It's such a crucial time in the game. If it is that second goal, it will be 3 points for Rangers. If it's not, it's going to be a nervy last 3 minutes.
Was it 3 that were added on? I didn't see.
It was 4, but I think we're already 1 in.
Yeah, well, VAR going over the offside checks just now. I think it might take a wee while because they did look extremely tight. Yeah, it's confirmed as offside. Good call from the assistant. And the free kick's taken then. So still 1-0 Rangers in stoppage time here. 4 minutes added on. We've played one of them. That VAR check though might just mean there's a little bit more. Asgard thought he'd put Rangers home and dry, but it's not to be. And here comes St Mirren once more. Now there was an infringement off the ball there, and it's going to be a yellow card, which was completely needless. It's for Nasser Giga for the foul on Lindelöf off the ball. I mean, there was no way Lindelöf was going to latch onto that. It was going all the way through to Jack Butland, but all of a sudden St Mirren now have a free kick. About 30 yards, maybe a little bit less than that from goal, just left the centre, and this is a big opportunity for them to snatch a point at the death.
It is. I mean, it's quite central, Al, so it's difficult to clip a ball in, and it's probably too far out for a shot, so it's a difficult one for St Mirren to know what to do here. Phillips is standing over it, but I don't think you're going to beat Butland from there. Whether or not they just try and stand it up into the penalty area. Looks like he's going to go for it.
I think this is worth a shot.
Do you?
I mean, obviously I don't know anything about football, but
here he goes.
Oh, he's laid it to his right hand side to Campbell. He's changed the angle, he clips it in. Sk Olsen gets it half clear. Jake Young tries to snapshot as the wind rises again for the final few seconds of the game. Out for a throw in on the left hand side. Still 1-0 Rangers. Just over a minute of stoppage time left to play. Can St Mirren find a last gasp equaliser? Freckleton into Lundaloo inside the penalty area, tries to get turned. Rangers trying to hack it clear, and that's exactly what they do. Giga out of play on this near side. St Mirren will have another throw in midway inside the Rangers half, left hand side. Devaney goes back to the halfway line to Donnelly, who'll try and fire it forward. Really good closing down there by Asgar.
The Rangers need to push up the pitch. Yeah, they're sitting deep.
Well, they paid for that in Motherwell, didn't they? As the ball goes back to Shamal George, he tries to swipe it upfield, but he sliced it. Mikey Moore runs into Alex Gogic, and St Mirren have it back. 30 seconds to play. Ayunga on the right-hand side up against Magoma. Can they work one final opportunity here, St Mirren? They haven't really been able to do so in the entire 90 minutes, but you never know. As Donnelly helps out to the left-hand side here for Jake Young up against Tavernier. Tavernier can't stay with him. Young, as he just overrun it. As back goes Tavernier, slides in. Olsen, Olsen helping out, but it's out for a throw into St Mirren. It's going to be taken long here by Phillips. They've played the 4 minutes of added on time. Is there one last chance here for St Mirren as they look for an equaliser? Or are Rangers going to hold on for all 3 points? Killian Phillips lining up the long throw in here from the left-hand side, and it comes to the edge of the box. It'll be flicked on by Jake Young. Rangers trying to get it clear, and eventually Olsen boots it over the halfway line. Danny Rule urging his players to get up the park. Shamal George has come out of his area, fires it forward again, but there's the final whistle. It's all over, and Rangers do have the victory. A much-needed victory. It wasn't pretty, but ultimately they will not care about that. They are still in this title race. Just tucked a point behind Celtic and 3 behind the league leaders' Hearts. They made hard work of it at times, but they got there in the end. St Mirren just could not muster an effort to really trouble Jack Butland, despite improving in the second half. And ultimately it was a Tour Romans goal, his first for the club after 31 minutes, that won it for Rangers, knocking past Shamal George for the only goal of the game in dreadful conditions at times. But Rangers have got over the line for St Mirren. Well, they are very much still in the mire, down in 10th spots, but level on points with 11th place Kilmarnock, and still a lot of work to do to ensure their safety in the Premiership this season with 8 games to play. It was a nervy affair at times, but Rangers got themselves over the line. It finishes in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
The Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Thank you very much indeed to our commentary team there in Paisley. A tough afternoon in so many ways, but Rangers grinding it out, getting the win. Only 3 points separate Heart and Midlothian, Celtic and Rangers at the top of the table. St Mirren still deadlocked on 24 points with Kilmarnock down in the potential drop zone. We are just a few minutes away from the Dundee derby. Live commentary to come. Let's hear from both managers, Jim Goodwin and Stephen Presley, being given their pre-match thoughts.
We have to make sure that we play with confidence today, but that controlled aggression and no complacency in our performance.
The prize today, yes, it's 3 points, but it's also you'll leapfrog your city, not only your city rivals, your street rivals, and the table. Is that a message that you send to the players? Because it is, yes, it's only maybe a small thing today, but it could have psychologically a big effect in the long term.
Brian, I'll be absolutely honest with you, I haven't spoke about it to the players one bit this week. I keep reminding us that we have to get ourselves safe. We have to find the right amount of points to secure our future in this division. That's first and foremost our objective, and what I do know is that today 3 points would go a long way in doing that.
They're games that you want to be involved in. You know, I said to the players back at the hotel earlier that, you know, I don't greatly miss playing football, the game time, but when games like this come around, I do wish I was still a player, because
you've got to get the boots on.
You'd love to get the boots on again in a game that means, you know, so much to to the supporters, and you know there's going to be a lot of passion and a lot of aggression, you would imagine, throughout the game. And you know these are the games that you want to play in, and if you can't motivate yourself as a player or as a manager for games like this, then you're in the wrong game.
Jim Goodwin, we heard from Stephen Presley as well. The teams will be emerging shortly in the Dens Park sunshine. SWPL this afternoon. Half time, it's Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 2, Montrose 6, Hamilton 0. And in the top half of the table, post split, half times again, Celtic 1, Hibernian 1, Glasgow City 3, Partick Thistle 0. All the SWPL highlights tomorrow night on the BBC Scotland channel. Tonight, 7:15 on BBC Scotland. It's Sports Scene with all the action from the weekend's Premiership encounters, and the last of those is about to get underway. In the wake of that 1-0 win for Rangers against St Mirren and Paisley, the one remaining top-flight fixture this weekend is at Dens Park. It's live with us here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. John Rankin, Kevin Thompson and Liam McLeod.
It is the only fixture that matters in this city, the city of discovery, as Dundee welcome their neighbours to Dens Park. Just over 100 metres down the road is Tannadice Park, and an opportunity for the bragging rights to be won, but also there is serious business as well. Dundee United are hanging by a thread when it comes to top 6 hopes. If they lose this one, then the top 6, bottom 6 is sorted, and Falkirk will be celebrating if it's a home victory here, if the dark blue half of the city emerge on top against the tangerine and black side. The 181st competitive Dundee derby. Dundee have won 52 to United's 83. It's the 71st league derby between them at Dens. 21 wins for Dundee, 36 for United. As the sun shines down here, very different conditions to what we witnessed in Paisley in the earlier kick-off. It is cold, but nowhere near the wind that's howling around Renfrewshire and the Central Belt at the moment. Here it's relatively benign. The pitch obviously a bit threadbare, as it has been for a while now, since the turn of the year really, with the rain absolutely battering down. The Dundee United players, Dundee players will line up along the centre circle in just a moment after the coin toss. Ross Graham and Simon Murray, who celebrates his 34th birthday today, doing the handshakes and the coin toss, with the referee, who is Duncan Nicholson, taking charge of his first Dundee derby. But before we get underway, there is going to be a moment to remember the legendary Gordon Wallace, who sadly lost his life. Obviously, he is most synonymous with the dark blue side of Dundee. He also spent some time at United. Indeed, he was assistant to Ivan Golac when they won the Scottish Cup in '94, but with Dundee, he's such a legend. And that memorable cup final winning goal in the early 70s, the last time Dundee picked up a major honour indeed. And there will be a minute's applause for Gordon Wallace ahead of, fittingly, the Dundee derby here this afternoon. Lovely tribute here from both sets of supporters for Gordon Wallace, Hall of Famer here at Dens, League Cup hero. And I know that both clubs were saddened by that news He passed away at the age of 82. It is, as I say, a fitting fixture to pay tribute to Gordon Wallace's memory as Dundee take on United. It's John McCracken in goal for the host. Wright, Astley, Graham, Samuels, Hamilton, Cottrell, Congreve, Danda, Yogan and Murray. For United, it's Maynard Brewer in goal. Iovu comes back, Graham Kereshtes, Stevenson, Adjie, Chevy and Ferry, Ferrucci and Fata either side of Waters, who's only scored once in his last 19, but he's going to lead the line for United this afternoon. It will be Dundee to kick off. They're going to shoot left to right in the navy blue. United in the tangerine and black, as you would expect. Dundee shooting towards the Bobby Cox stance. A long ball up towards the edge of the United box, which is rifled clear by Christian Kereshtes into the Dundee half, where Graham gets his head onto it, flicked on by Danda on the centre spot, and then Yogan is fouled there by Iovu, and that's a free kick against the Moldovan in the centre circle for Dundee. I've got John Rankin and Kevin Thompson with me for this one, and it's always a special occasion, John.
It certainly is, and I was here a couple of weeks ago for the Hibs game here, and what a crowd, what a difference today. I mean, Dens is packed. It's games that you're certainly looking forward to, especially at the beginning of the season. I think Dundee are in a much better form than what United are just now, but it's certainly one that both sets of players will be looking forward to. United come off the back of a really poor performance and result last week, especially in the first half at Falkirk, so they'll be looking to put that right and keep alive their slim hopes of getting into the top 6.
Yeah, and they are slim as far as the Dark Blues are concerned, Kevin. The carrot to go above their neighbours today, and that's not to be sniffed at.
Yeah, I was just actually thinking that the last time me and Ranks were this close, we were probably playing. Great games, great occasions, 100 mile per hour normally. And normally, Liam, it's the one that settles the quickest. I always hated shooting down the hill in the first half, sorry. I know it doesn't seem much, but it was always a big thing for me. Maybe that was just me personally, but it'll be interesting to see how the game develops today.
It's seen behind for a goal kick for United. Maynard Brewer just letting it trickle behind there. Stephen Presley and Jim Goodwin are out in the technical areas down below us. It's Maynard Brewer who came into the club and was immediately installed as Jim Goodwin's number 1. Prepares to take just the one clean sheet in his 9 games for United so